Welcome, everybody. This is CBSI Presents Tales from Flipside number 32. We have 6 people waiting, which is probably us 6. So we are off to a great start. I'm Dino. Boys, introduce yourselves.
Pete-Up's here. I fired up the grill for the first time for the summer, and I'll just pass along that I think the first grill of every season is just a mulligan because I definitely pulled it up a little bit.
In remembrance of the great Art Bell, I'd like to say from the high desert, the great American Southwest, I bid you all a good evening. This is Brian McClay.
A good evening and adieu. This is Scotty Too Hottie coming in from Philly. My Flyers suck.
Yeah, they can't beat. Nobody can beat the Pens this year.
I mean, look, the Penguins are good, but they're just the Flyers suck.
Yeah,
They
well,
blow.
yeah.
This is John Z crawling out of his fortress of short boxes he acquired and coming live to do a show.
Finally,
You can stop bullets with those boxes.
I mean, I've got just a barricade.
are your kids going to build forts out of the short boxes?
I'll post some pictures on the page, and you will just be amazed.
Oh, what a Saudi goal on that one. Holy shit. Okay, sorry, I'm watching the Caps game. Continue.
Hey, and it's Ben S, and I'm not sure. I think I may be on the wrong podcast. Is this about comics? Is that what this is about?
No. This is about whatever you want it to be.
Oh,
Yeah, pretty
okay.
much.
Okay, cool.
We don't usually talk comics here.
What are comics?
It's a thing straining my marriage right now.
Yeah, I was gonna
I'm
ask.
sure, man.
I was gonna ask about that, dude, because the missus.
Like, how big's your house to hold how many boxes is it?
I called it 150 short boxes, but it's like 20 long boxes and 100 and
How many trips did it
short
take
boxes.
you to get them to your house?
So luckily the guy only lived like a mile away.
Oh, nice.
It was convenient.
Did
Yeah.
you rent a U-Haul?
No, I
So
was.
do you have rented a U-Haul?
I
Not
could
for a
have.
mile.
I did a load that night. I haven't even actually given him money. He's like, just when it's all unloaded, pay me.
Nice.
And I took a load in my SUV home the first night. He again gave me the codes to the garage, and I went about 3 other times and got an SUV full. But you can only put so much in because of the weight.
Yeah.
I don't have I just have a family cruiser type thing. And
to his garage.
it's a long story. I'll go back into that.
Start from the beginning.
But thankfully, Ozzy, aka Mike Z, came down with his real pickup truck, and we did most of it on a weekend and did one trip each and knocked it out. But holy shit, it was a lot. So I wasn't looking. I don't like go marketing and doing all that stuff. I mean, they handed out some cards at the con and really didn't get any real leads, other than one that I don't think is a feasible buy.
I don't think so either.
It's just too weird. But a friend of mine, his dad's like, yeah, I got a friend who's got to sell a bunch of comics. Do you know anybody? He's like, Norm, John, yeah. So he connects me to this guy, and he's like, yeah, my mom just passed away. I've had my comics at her garage forever. I can't get to them right now, but in like 4 or 6 weeks, we're going to be cleaning it out, and I want to get rid of them. Okay, call me when you're ready. And nobody knows how much they are. I forgot to ask how many there are. My buddy's like, I think he said 5,000 or maybe 10. I don't know. I'm like, okay, that's maybe 30 long boxes. I could do that. I can do that. That's fine. I don't know if they're new, they're old, or whatever. I don't know.
I love the justification. I could do that.
Little did he know.
I didn't know how old the guy was. What was I buying? So finally he gives me a call. It was 2 weeks ago because I picked up the first load the night of our last podcast, and I'm like, no, I can't break away from this. I was too intense in perusing my score. And he's like, well, come on over, we'll take a look and see what you want to do. No idea what I'm getting into. Like I said, it could be all new shit, could be all old shit, could be a huge purchase, a small purchase. I walk up, the guy's about 60. So that gave me a frame of reference that he's been collecting a while. I walk in and he's got just short boxes strewn across the garage. And he's like, well, this is these 10 or so short boxes are older stuff in the 60s. I collected them as a kid, so they're not great condition. I read them as a kid, yada, yada, yada. I think they're all good. I kind of looked through them. They look like very good. A couple finds. There's a few rough ones, but decent stuff. And I'm looking, there's runs of X-Men, Fantastic Four, Avengers, all the Marvel stuff. There's a whole box of Western, which is,
right up your alley.
It's Marvel Western, though. It's not my thing. He had a whole bunch of Sergeant Fury, which the layers stuff does not look like it sells much.
Nope.
And I'm like, well, there's a couple keys. There was none of the early stuff. Spider-Man started about 30. Avengers had some early ones like 7 and 8. X-Men started at about 7 and 8 and then jumped. So, nothing had the first 10 or 12 issues for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got a lot of fairly full runs of Silver Age stuff. So I'm like, all right, I see first Black Panther, first Vision, some of that stuff. And I'm like, all right, that's a good bit. And he goes, all right, so I got this pile here I went to college, stopped collecting, came back in at like 81, came back in. So there's no bronze. There's no bronze in this collection except a handful of random books he must have went back and kind of picked up during life. He seemed to like cosmic shit. So that kind of eliminates a ton of value when you're looking at a collection. And so I'm just like, okay, because here's the stuff that kind of got back in the 80s. I see some Spider-Man, some of that stuff. I see the 300. I'm like, good. I see a box titled New Mutants 1 to 100. Okay, I know what I'm getting there. And then the next pile's like, well, here's, 80s DC, bunch of Legion, lots of indies. He goes, over here is Valiant and Ultraverse and a lot of independents. I'm like, oh, shit, well, that could be interesting.
You immediately burned all the Valiant stuff and said you can keep it?
Well, so I'm looking at it and I see things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and things. And I'm like, well, shit, what if it's old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I don't know. But
like 92 or 89 or some shit like that.
I mean, he collected that whole time, so who knows, right? And then he goes, okay, over here I've got newer stuff. And then at the end, it's like, this is all 2000, 2012. And then there was another corner that had maybe 15 or 20 boxes that were just new. Like he was picking up his pull list for maybe 10 of these boxes. They were coming in the bags from the shop and he wasn't even reading them. Like they were just put in. So pretty much anything after about 90, probably 98, 99 was not sorted, was not in order. Most of it's not in any bags and boards, and it is crammed, naked books in boxes. So you couldn't even you couldn't look through them. It's like he read them and put them on a pile and filed it. And the stuff that he'd sorted out, okay, I could figure that out. Everything else, like shit, I don't know. I couldn't even look at it because it was just in reading order. Whatever came out that week, he probably bought. I would bet 10 books a week.
Any kind of? Have you even looked at like variants or anything like that?
Well, that was an interesting lesson. The guy did not own a single variant, as far as I could tell, unless it was like an A and a B.
Yeah, I mean that's probably because depends where he got it from, right? I mean.
Well,
he's a
reader.
He
doesn't.
He's a full reader. He didn't care about variants. I was like, maybe he accidentally picked one up. It didn't appear so. I saw some A's and B's, and that's it. There was not a variant in the whole box, which makes digging through it a whole different experience. You're like, well, I'm looking for this. No, wait, the regular cover is not worth shit. You get to run a
12 or Tech 8080 stuff like that.
Oh, there were some heartaches.
Any Walking Dead ones?
So I'll tell you some of my logic. I grabbed the Silver Age stuff the first night, about half of it. I didn't want to take it all because it looked like a little shady, so I grabbed a couple boxes, so I'll take that. And I took the long boxes, which I knew had the Spider-Man and some of that stuff, but it was the long boxes. I told them I'm just going to take the heavy stuff first and get it because I'll get tired the more I do. And kind of just go, okay, I see a 300, I see this. And I looked through some of the Silver Age, saw some of the keys, was happy. And I had 2 nights that I couldn't get over there. And then he's like, well, here, use garage code, just come in and start unloading, try and get out in the next week or so. Great. And the second day I go over there, I'm thinking, what could be in here that I'm not thinking about? And I'm like, 2012 Independence, Walking Dead, or 2003, was it 3?
3, yep, 3.
3 Independence. 3, yeah. So I start kind of cherry picking some boxes because it says Image 2002, 2003, and I pick the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles up, and I pick a couple other things that are just random stuff, and I grab them. I'm like, there's a Walking Dead, or there's a BA12. And you get home and you start looking through some of this stuff. I find the Batman, and I got the McFarlane cover, and I've got year 1 and year 2, some of the Bane shit, and some good stuff. And all of a sudden, you see the Batman Adventures 1. You're like, sweet. No 2. He read 1 issue, didn't like it.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude.
There's
That's
one
son of a bitch.
There's 1 down because there's only so many keys that are not that are of value that are not variants. So you're like, okay, there's 1 down. And I'm like, all right, let's look at the image box. Let's look at the image box. There's a Walking Dead. I know there is. So you're seeing some of the other stuff. You see some of the stuff in that age. I did score an Invincible 1.
That's cool.
Okay.
There was a Capes, and I'm like, oh, Capes had a preview for Walking Dead. Maybe he saw that and liked it. No. Did have Image 1 or Invincible 1 to 6 and the Noble Causes books and the tech jackets. I'm like, that was pretty cool.
How about Saga? Any Saga?
No Saga. This guy, this is what amazed me. This guy loved Independence and like has a shit ton of cross-gen and Nexus books and all these like sci-fi things, and he doesn't have Saga?
Why the Last Man?
No.
Jesus, dude.
So
Think
there's
somebody cherry picked it?
no, absolutely not. Just didn't like it. Didn't put it in his pull list. Because if it was there, you could tell he read it until he stopped liking it, or he read it till the end. Like
Yeah.
I am
At least he's
convinced.
consistent, though. I guess, right? I mean,
I am convinced I have Wolverine from the miniseries to the end, like to the last issues of 2013 or 14. I bet.
the problem is, I bet you he doesn't have the Bone Claw variant, obviously, or the
No
Adamant
variants.
or the Nabisco. Yeah, I mean, like it's
But the other problem is, the stuff in the 90s is in order. Anything in 2000s is just in reading order. So I'd have to go through these hundreds of boxes and start sifting this together. Because like I'd see Nightwing 100, Nightwing 110, Nightwing 150, and they're all over the place. So at some point, I'm going to have to like commit to doing something.
Birds of Prey. Any Birds of Prey?
I didn't see. So Mike and I went through that Saturday night. We went and got all the boxes, and we looked through, as far as I can tell, every box. I mean,
How many
there's
total?
somewhere near about 150 short boxes worth. I had looked through the week before, so I think I had 50 cleared before he got here. But in the one weekend, we looked through 100. Now he looked through about half, and I looked through half. So there's probably some stuff each of us missed. But any of the big stuff we got, we did find an NYX3.
Nice.
It was odd because we only found 3 and 5 and 7, no 4, which would be a few bucks. We could have just missed it.
What's 3? What's the grade on 3?
I don't know. It needs a press. It's not a 9.8, but it with a press it'll do nicely.
All right, so I mean that's good. That's good there at least. I mean,
Between the Invincible, got a Deadpool, got a Cable. The Cable's got shot at a 9.8.
ooh, that's like 450, right? Or 500 right now.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I put it up raw. I don't want to send it to grading right now. If it doesn't sell in the next couple of weeks, then I'll grade it
What's your price on it?
high.
Well, I mean, what's high?
I put it at 400 because I'm like, it's at least a 9.6, and if somebody's looking to press and grade, I put it there and see what the offer is. I don't want to take the gamble on it right now.
What's your offer, Dino?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this. Since I hooked you up on a horrific one, I think we're
See,
gonna.
when Dino chimes in like that, that means he's prowling.
He's looking.
No, you know what's funny? I haven't bought. Okay, I don't want to steal your thunder. I haven't bought shit in a while, bro. I don't know, bros. I guess I don't know what the fuck's going on with me right now.
I just got my dirty pair, and
yeah, I got. Okay, so I did buy that. Okay, I guess I got my dirty pair. I have that at Sean's.
would you get a raw?
Yeah, from Joe. That Joe's book.
Yeah, I got the one from Brian Looper.
Yep. What else? I haven't bought it. I mean, I bought Avenging Spider-Man 9s, but I mean, I got to get those pressed. But I don't know. It's just like I'm in this weird funk. Like I need to scan some slabs, and I got these plastic mans I got to get rid of. And
I got 6 boxes here looking at me like scan me.
I know, me too, dude.
I'm like,
Don't
feel
talk
like
to me about 6 boxes, dude.
But you don't. You have to
Yeah,
scan
you
them?
don't scan. You're
don't
gonna
scan.
bulk out most of that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna I got boxes and boxes of stuff to eBay though.
You got to turn on your webcam, man. Dino wants to make a deal right now.
Yeah,
Dude, I've been-
seriously.
It took me.
We'll start out
The
auctioning
other thing
books
is-
off.
How
the
far are
so-
you? How
the
far are
so-
you away from me?
I don't know, 5-6 hours.
This could be.
What are you gonna do with like the bulk stuff? Just save dollar boxes?
I don't know. I think the plan is I'm going to try to sell the mid-level stuff, keep the high grade key, or the higher value keys, because there was like an Iron Man 1 and first Black Panther.
You have an Iron Man 55?
No bronze.
Oh, yeah.
What's your Iron Man 1 look like?
I don't know. It's like a 4.5, maybe.
My buddy's looking for one, but he's looking for like a beater book.
But there were some heartaches. Like there was a Silver Surfer 1 to 9 run.
Mm-hmm.
No 4.
No. Come on, buddy.
There were some nice Fantastic 4 runs. No 48.
No.
It's like maybe he had them, or he could have just as a kid went to newsstand certain weeks and picked up what caught his eye, or maybe as a kid he traded away some stuff,
or he cherry picked it.
He didn't cherry pick it.
But you did have 52 though.
You think he didn't? He just didn't get them?
Yeah, he didn't get them, or he got rid of them in his youth. Kids traded him books. He just didn't have them. Like he hasn't had them for a long time. If he did, like the books I got, the Silver Age were in open top flat bags. Like he didn't even tape them shut. And I had to get a dust mask to start taking them out and changing them because it was literally making me cough my head off. These bags were like turning a shade of yellow green.
What was the condition inside the? I mean, was it like terrible? I mean, were they? Yeah, obviously they were yellowed, right? The whole.
No, they're actually not bad. It's just the bags.
Oh, wow.
It's like they started to break down and do stuff, but the books, pages are mostly whitish, and he stored them decent places. There was 3 long boxes that were in the corner of the garage that took some water damage. I just pitched them. I didn't even bring them in the house. I kind of looked through them for anything, and they were just mostly independent crap, and I pitched them. So, but for the most part, they're in really decent shape. They were read as kids, so the average Silver Age, like I said, probably in the 4 to 5 range.
So now the important question is, how long do you have till you have to get rid of them until your wife kills you?
I don't know. She didn't actually see them all in one place until yesterday.
Oh, what was that reaction? Tell us live.
It was like
Is Steph is your wife around so we can talk to her about this?
wrong. She didn't want to do it.
Where are you keeping him? Like, is there a special room for him so she doesn't see him all the time?
On the couch where he's going to be staying the next 6 months.
So I pulled out most of the high dollar stuff and put that in the closet with my current collection. There's some stuff in the dining room / office. There's about 10 long boxes of stuff that are higher priority to deal with. It's like the Wolverine runs, the Spider-Man runs, stuff that I'm just going to rebag and board and then maybe store. And then everything that's kind of been picked through and just needs sorted or bulked out is in the basement. I said, you know what? If it floods, I can probably get more for insurance than I can bulking it right now.
That's a good smart plan.
So I think I'm going to bag and board the runs that are worth it and, prep for a nice couple cons. I think some of that stuff I'm going to pull through and sort out if there's books I want runs of or think are worth selling. And then I'm going to just leave a bunch of boxes as just raw books and say like 2 for $1 or, fill a short box for 25 or something at a con. I signed up for one in the fall. I might try and find another one or two and just take them and price them at a point where I'm making a little money, but just clearing them.
So are you buying everything the guy had or no?
I bought it all.
Nice.
He went deep on this one.
Oh, he wanted to get rid of it. And it wasn't like I could have cherry picked, and I paid more than I needed to because it was a friend of a friend, but I didn't want to be,
Well, you did. You're going to do okay, right? I mean, it's not like you.
Oh, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I've sold a handful of things and I'm approaching halfway out.
So I mean, that cable you can give me like $100 on, right?
Yeah, you see how Dino works? I love it.
Set him up, knock him down.
I'll give you that if you give me the Plastic Man for what you paid.
Oh.
Some dude. Okay, I'm gonna unload on him now. Fuck it. So these motherfuckers on Instagram, and it does reserve my cursing because these motherfuckers on Instagram are killing me. I've between our indie photos and I just posted that Plastic Man picture. They hit us up for like, dude, you still got these Black Cat 50s? I'm like, yeah, we got one, and it's really Z's book. It's not our book, so I said my friend's got it, right? No big deal. Let me ask. It's got, I think that's the one that has minor color touch, right?
It's got color touch. I don't know if I'd call it minor, but yeah.
Okay, whatever. Same difference. So, anyways, I said, yeah, let me ask, and then we give him prices, and these tire kickers, man, on IG are like, oh, thanks, but I'll have to pass. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my, everybody's thanks, but I'll have to pass.
You guys keep mentioning them. I'm like, you know what? I don't even get it. My brain started worrying about it.
Oh, dude, Chambers of Chills. It's like, dude, my buddy's seriously looking for it. Everybody's seriously looking for it until the price comes. It's like, nah, I'm good. It's like, what do people expect? Like one day somebody's gonna like
He's looking for it at 2 years ago prices.
Well, not even that. Like Chambers of Chill, 19 for $300. It's like, come on, man. It's like,
dude, the worst was when we were at IndyCon.
Oh
like,
God,
11 o'clock at night. Like we're sleeping. What's the price on this? What's the price on that? Like.
Are you guys still up? Did it sell? Are you guys even at the con? It's like, Jesus, man. It's like, come on, people. Could you get us better pictures? It's like we're at a con.
Some guy asked for pictures of Four Corners. I'm like, nah, dude, I'll just sell it here.
Isn't that book graded already?
Which one?
The Chamber of Chills?
Yeah.
Or is it raw? Yeah.
It's graded.
That one's graded. But like the Black Cat, I brought those books for when a guy pulls out a stack of $50 bills and puts them in my hand, yes. As they did happen. That's the only reason those books came out was a cash, put it in my hand and make me not sad you're taking this book away.
You had a couple nice sales.
Yeah, you had great sales, dude.
Yeah. My brother's like, dude, that guy is awesome. I'm like, yes, if that guy comes and wants to look at your books, you say, yes, let's talk a deal.
Yeah, and you flip, and even on that gem, dude, you made a hell of a deal, and you flipped that Moon Knight in like 10 seconds afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still a little sad, but I'm happy to have the money because it means now my wife is not. I didn't want to have to go into family money to buy this collection.
Yeah, as pissed as she would have been.
Yeah, it's all on gym money, and I can sell it as slow as I want to sell it. I don't have to sell, I don't have to go and sell the best stuff first. I can just.
Yeah,
I made $600 already on like Infinity and Thanos related shit.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing too is like, yeah, like you said, you could slow roll it. It's the worst thing is like when you start buying big collections like that is trying to get rid of it as fast as possible. Like you can wait for waves now. You don't have to like short sell everything if you had to, or it's.
No, nice. I'm gonna take my time. There's some new stuff in there. There's an East or West run, and there's Deadly Class, and there's some of that stuff in there. But there's stuff I'm not going to bother dealing with. I'm just going to.
Yeah.
You've seen dealers just take new boxes and say, here, $2 for $1, $1, whatever they want to charge and roll.
I want to kind of buy a collection, but there's nobody bulk like that around me.
No, you just got to stumble into it.
Yeah.
Like I got almost a full Deadpool Volume 1 run in there.
That's good money.
I got missing 2 or 3, but I'm thinking they're there and I just missed them.
Did you get I guess he wouldn't have bought it because I was thinking Mad Love, Batman Mad Love, but he didn't like Adventures, so
he didn't buy any. He doesn't have most of that.
Adventures
Batman
is
age.
like really kiddie.
Yeah,
he stopped Batman around 400.
Okay.
So like he's got Nightwing, he's got Robin, he's got some of that stuff, but there was no Batman title.
Did he have 457 second print newsstand?
No.
He's more of a Marvel.
These were all off the shelf. There's no newsstand. These are all off these are all off of a shop. Okay. I mean, I know which shop. I mean, I'm local, so I could tell. But he'd just been buying them for, decades.
Well, that's good. I mean, I guess I'm kind of glad in this day and age that there's still collections out there that haven't been, you know what I'm saying, like picked through. And
it's kind of weird because you're almost into somebody's head too deep looking at what they read.
Know him, yeah.
The Zenoscope and fucking Grim Fairy Tales.
There's a couple Zenoscopes, like just he was trying them out, didn't seem to connect, but
he was trying them out all right. The pages come together.
Yeah. There's that dude that like, oh, come to my storage unit. I got comics, and then like the first box is all that Grim Fairy Tale shit. And you're like, oh shit, I got to get out of here.
That's the exact moment he turned into a dirty old man.
You can sell some good Zenoscope stuff, man. I don't fault that.
There's a long box of independents that I am not qualified to dig through.
Really?
I need to like just video feed it and get Topher and Devo and these guys on it because I'm like, I don't recognize anything, but God, what if there's something I don't know?
Yeah. Those are my favorite type of books. Those crazy one-offs or they only printed a couple of them and just locally, that type of stuff. You never know what treasure you're walking into.
Oh yeah, but I'm like, I know a lot. I'm like, I don't know these publishers, some of them.
Oh, did he did it? It says he had Spawn. Any Malibu run? That Malibu Spawn?
There's a Malibu like 16 and 17. None of the good ones.
Oh wow!
There was smart. There was a Next Men 1 to 19 run. You're like, damn it.
This dude just like got off at the wrong times.
But he read Hellboy because like there's Hellboy after that, and I'm like, I kept thinking I'm gonna find it somewhere else. He put it with his Hellboy books, but then they weren't organized. I'm like, shit. And there's still some stuff. I'm convinced as we go through it again because I might have been drinking at the end of that night because we moved 90 long boxes that day from an attic to a car to a garage to a basement. So I might have been drinking, and there's definitely a chance I skimmed through some stuff. And even there were some things like, you go, oh, Fantastic Four past 100 and just skip it. But he sometimes would have books mixed in, and you're like, shit, I have to go back and look.
Because you just throw that box away pretty much.
Yeah. There's some of those runs.
Check on MCS. Sometimes they buy those filler issues.
Oh yeah, that's what I was telling them too.
Dude, I thought, okay, that Sergeant Fury run, because I don't want to sell it on eBay, and I'm like, all right, I'll check MCS, and they're giving like 6 cents an issue. I'm like, what?
Oh, wow.
For Silver Age Marvel?
Wow. That's less than cover price.
Do you have a half price books that you go pawn them off on?
I might. I have some. I don't know. I don't think they pay enough that it's worth my time.
You should just like bulk it out on eBay, like do 10, 20 book lots.
That sounds terrible. I don't know. I may start taking some to the shop and see if they want to buy them. They might buy the Silver Age books at a quarter guide or something.
Didn't you say you have a big con that you might be thinking about taking them to?
I'm setting up not a big con. There's one in Elkhart I had to miss. That would have been a good one. I'm doing a 1-day show up in South Bend, but it's 6 months away. There's a small local show that I'm going to try and hit. But I don't think there's any big, easy ones to hit between now and then. I'm going to try and bulk some out for real money before I go half-price books.
You can go to Michigan Comic Con if you want to.
Where's that?
Michigan.
That's a pretty large state.
Oh, hold on. It's by me. It's in Detroit.
The other issue is like I don't to get as much bulk out as I want. I don't want to like rent a trailer and shit, So I got to try and make it easy.
You try to be all like economical with it.
Yeah,
I rent a trailer and put like on the side, comics for sale, and just drive down the highway.
My goal is I'm going to keep the higher end stuff for IndieCon for the most part next year. Or no, I guess we're not doing Indy. Maybe Lexington
or Dayton.
Keep it for whatever the big show is. Keep the nicer books and just try and work through the junk bulk between now and then. So hopefully by the end of next year, I'm kind of clear. The ironic thing is I've been talking for years. I want to get to 3 boxes of slabs and 9 short boxes of books. After IndieCon, I was like a half a box away for 1 week. And then now I'm in the shit.
Well, we talked about it because you were thinking about buying some stuff for us. And you were like, yeah, if I buy this, and then if I buy this other collection, I really don't need your stuff, which I understood. I mean, but yeah. You went hard on it, man.
I went where most people should not go because even the guy's like, "Do you need to check with your wife?" Because I told her I thought it was like 30 long boxes, maybe a little less. He's like, "Do you need to check with your wife?" No, she's okay.
Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah,
better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yeah, exactly. Beg. I'm gonna post some pictures on our page.
I should. You know what's funny? That other lot you sent me. That other thing.
Oh yeah. I've been thinking about it. I can't figure out with the grade of 9.6, 181.
Yeah.
And then junk books. I don't know how you make an offer.
Make an offer for the 181. That's really about it.
He has a 180, a 181, a 182. We looked at this. I'm like, but what's a 9.6 181 going for, boys? Anybody know?
It's like 5-6K, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So do I offer 3K and just say,
Well, the thing is, you can try and get it and flip it, but shit, then you're going to take the hit on the fees and taxes, and it's like the math on it. Like you can make some money, but you just gotta.
That's why you got an LLC.
Well, and then I guess I could walk around with that book at different shows and try to. I don't know.
There's no way to get rid of it quick and easy.
That dude with the Bible next year would buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that 181 would sell quick.
Yeah, it would.
it just feels like you. Why is the guy not selling it himself? You know,
Too good to be true, you think?
No.
it's not too good to be true, but he's gonna want under the table money and that kind of stuff. You know,
Yeah, for under the
Otherwise,
table
he
money,
would-
though.
otherwise he'd sell it on eBay.
Hey, the last 4 9.6s.
Yeah.
10.5, 9.6, 13.5, and 10.5.
Oh, shit.
So I
Way
mean,
off.
if I offered him $9,000 for it, theoretically,
Yeah, if you offered him 3K, Dino, you'd be doing well.
yeah, I know, right?
But I mean, do you want to be 9K into a book and to get 11 out?
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
worth it.
2K profit's quite a big chunk.
Not
That's
after fees.
Yeah.
Doesn't that fee cap at $250?
I'll just send it to Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe wants to buy that 9.6.
Yeah.
Fuck
I don't know. I thought about it, and I just can't. I can't put that much money out for that.
It
small
depends
return.
upon the price.
Yeah. So okay. So hold on. Dr. Joe, if you I know you're listening.
Yeah, he said
Hit
he'd buy
me
that.
up, dude. Yeah, hit me up, dude. We'll talk. Talk. I can just pass it on to you.
That's great.
He had a Daredevil 1. He had a couple other books too.
Yeah, it was. He's like, I didn't grade the rest, but I'm looking through it, and like most of the rest, there was a handful of like decent ASM issues, like the Hobgoblin type range, but it's like there's not enough in the bulk that you can make him any kind of offer outside of the degraded.
Yeah.
And
What
that's
year
not
is
he
the
wants.
bulk? Is it a certain period, or is it just all over the place?
It's our childhood stuff,
Yeah,
and it's
that
only
makes it better.
like a few hundred books.
Yeah.
Not like you're buying boxes and boxes. It's like a very top and heavy collection and a low end collection. You just can't.
Makes it easier to flip.
It does. It just I don't know. I can't. I'm not going 10K in.
Well, like you said, you got a better deal on that other offer, other lot, anyways. I mean, so
Yeah, I will sit and work through this mess instead of trying to do the.
Does he have a price, Dino?
cool.
The guy.
Well, hold on. Did he have a price Z? Because I think we just.
No, I think he was going to different dealers and wanting to get an offer.
I mean, we could talk about it, I guess.
Never hurts to ask.
I keep toying with going to talk to him, but I'm like, I'm going to Vegas this week. I'll wait till I'm back and see if I'm broke.
Never hurts to ask.
Well, Z, if you want to give me his number, I'll call him. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. If I need to pick him up for you or something, I'm happy to
Okay.
work that out. I don't know. Or if you get him, maybe I'll buy the bulk so you don't have to fucking ship it and
Nice.
mix it with the rest of my shit.
Your wife would kill you.
You wouldn't even notice.
It's only 100 books, man. It's only 100 more books.
10 boxes wouldn't even fucking phase it.
Oh, it wouldn't even matter.
You know what's funny? Just put them like on the outside or something. They were just downstairs. I don't know.
Yeah, you just can't.
Oh my god.
You got them on
better-
like pallets or
You
something?
better hope she doesn't listen to this.
No, there's nothing of incredible value down there. I'm risking it.
Interesting.
I thought about it. I'm like, there's too much. I'd have to have like 10 pallets.
Yeah.
I posted the pics. I mean, there's literally 2 short boxes deep, 3 to 4 tall, 20 some across, and that's the stuff in the basement.
Yeah. I don't even know what I would. I mean, as a single guy, technically, in my own house, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if I
Your girl
could
would not accept it.
Oh, she wouldn't care. She wouldn't care because she has her own place. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. But I could, like, storage-wise, I guess I would have to take the workout room I have and push all the weights and all the bench press and shit out of that room and make that my comic dungeon.
Your workout would be moving the boxes.
Well, that too. Well, that's the other part, and then the other part is I'd have to put it in the basement because I don't think my floor upstairs could actually handle the weight on a room per square inch.
No, you couldn't. It has to be down there. Ozzy and we were like, holy shit, how are we going to get these down? Because we got them from his house. It was threatening to rain. Put them in his truck, and we moved them in my garage. I'm like, my wife says they can't be in the garage when she gets home tonight. And I'm like, okay, so we want to look through these, but we want to give them sales. We're like, all right, let's take them down at like groups of 20 each. Then we'll look through some boxes to like be a reward, and then we'll come back and do it again. Because if you just try and haul 90 loads of comics down, you're just asking for a heart attack. And luckily,
you gotta call me. I would have drove 5 hours to get the big guns going out there.
I mean, I was making my 8 and 10-year-old and his 14-year-old haul boxes too.
Nice. Put the kids to work.
Yeah, no kidding.
But my God, it was a lot of work.
Yeah,
At some point, I got to get him out of there.
Yeah. It was a lot of work for 20 boxes for me.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, Scotty put down 20 boxes, dude.
That's nothing.
Well, we toyed about buying an RV for Scotty.
That'd be great.
So, Breaking Bad RV. It's all good.
Sell comics out of it.
Yeah, whatever, man. Big old wrap it. Wrap it with
store.
Fuck, that'd be hilarious, dude.
You just hit the fucking outskirts where people can't get shit.
I wonder if that would actually do well, technically.
Sounds like an interesting idea.
A comic book store on wheels.
Just pull up to every con.
right out front.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the food trucks. Just pull up next to the food trucks.
Oh, that'd be great.
You'd have a bunch of cosplayers going, why are there comics here?
Yeah. What are comics doing at a Comic-Con?
Jesus.
Yeah, I got to find some places where people buy comics.
Ooh, this guy wants 40 grand for a comic book collection.
Oh,
There we go. This guy wants $8 million. We'll see what this. I know the people will put like 9,999, roughly 80 plus boxes of books.
$1 million.
80 boxes? Shit, I got a deal.
Yeah, no shit. 40 grand. My collection started in the 80s, and I have, oh my God, that's even worse.
80s. Nice.
Ooh. He wants 40 grand for 80 plus boxes of 80s shit. Although I do have some books from 60s and 70s, I don't have a lot. Gee, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He wants like double cover price.
I paid less than 10% of that starting price.
Yeah. Oh, he has a Daredevil Brubaker. Oh my goodness, this is shitty as hell. Wow. Anyways.
So I think we're gonna have some G.I. Joe talk coming up next.
We will.
All right. Quick little part 2 to what we talked about the other week. Figured that this time, since we're mainly a comic book podcast, I'll talk a little bit about the comic series and some books to keep an eye out for in the G.I. Joe from all the different publishers and whatnot. And then maybe a couple shows later, we can go back to some of the tougher to find variant figures and, figures from other countries.
And I appreciate that because it's like Transformers and Fantastic Four and like niche stuff, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Because when I look through G.I. Joe boxes of comics, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I got a shit ton of Transformers. I'm going to have to get Ultras of Maximus on the line.
Because like all that stuff like Transformers and G.I. Joe, it's just like, I know, like number 1 in the last issue from like Real American Hero, like G.I. Joe, like, those are like popular and like everybody knows that one. But like when you start getting the IDWs and stuff like that, and it's like 25, I don't know.
Yeah. And some of those IDW books are some really good books, and I'll get to those. And I'll go over just a real quick over the series you were talking about, Dino, the Real American Hero that Marvel put out, started in 82. Went through 105 issues with some couple of special annual type issues, and then they did some little subsets of issues. Obviously, number 1 is a decent book to pick up if you can find it cheap. There's quite a few reprint versions of it, action figure print versions, and then a second print I think they did. That was printed on, I want to say that was one of the first books printed on that Baxter paper, so it kind of feels weird, and that's one way to tell, I think, with the original. The next real big book in that run is the issue 21, probably one of the most famous comic issues in the G.I. Joe run, might be up there with comics in general, because I want to say that was one of the first times that they ever did an all silent issue. And it's a pretty famous cover. It's got Snake Eyes roping down a tall building and shooting his gun.
Such a great cover.
It is. It really is. And that introduces a lot of people's favorite character in Storm Shadow, which is a very good saga throughout the whole G.I. Joe lore and backstory with Snake Eyes, and people have seen the movie. It's quite basically the same thing. Excuse me. And after that, you can kind of go through a couple of them that are decent. There's an issue where Todd McFarlane was supposed to do the art, and for some reason, I'm not exactly sure why, but they pulled back and didn't want him to do it. I believe that was issue 60. And I think the interior art, some of the interior art might be McFarlane's.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Why is 21 and 9/8 so much more valuable than number 1?
Because it's very hard to find. Oh, you mean why is 21 so much valuable than number 1, or 21 so much?
21 seems to be like skyrocket versus 1.
100%, I believe, is because of the 2 characters involved. Storm Shadow is a huge character that people collect. You actually will see, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, there's people that get the tattoo on their forearms, the symbol, that Arashikage clan symbol. I'm not exactly sure how they say it, but that's the ninja clan where G.I. Joe and Storm Shadow come from. A lot of people, Storm Shadow, the figure, has that tattoo on his forearm. It's just like these red bars. He's like a cult following character.
But why? But shouldn't the volume be pretty similar between the 2?
What do you mean?
I mean, the supply should be similar between the 2 issues.
Of 1 and 2, or of
1
1
and 21?
I
wouldn't think there's a drastic. Maybe there was a drop off, and I don't know, or maybe it just wasn't collected at the time. It always strikes me as strange.
Yeah, they also, just the fact that it's such a groundbreaking type silent issue.
Yeah, I think it's just a classic key issue now.
Yes,
definitely surpassed number 1.
And they did a second print and they did a third print. I know that the first print is really tough to find in good condition. That's probably the ones that are going for so much. I've been looking for a 9/8 first print for probably 2 years now, and all I see are third print 9/8s. It's the majority of the 9/8s I see.
Talk to Walker.
It's a book it's on my radar of why don't I own it?
Yeah, it's an amazing book. It's one of those really undervalued keys.
9/8?
You guys are the GPA guys.
Yeah, I don't have GPA.
What is it? No, I got it. What was it again? I'm sorry.
G.I. Joe 21, a Real Maker and Hero 21. First print.
Yeah. Is that from 85, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not it.
And I don't know if they did a newsstand and a direct copy of the first print, but I know most of them are newsstand.
It's like 900's last sale.
Wow.
Yeah.
740 12-month average. 900 was in 2017 in December.
Yeah, and that's like I said, it's a tough book to find, and that is one of my.
I wonder if that was a newsstand. I bought a lot one time at an auction, and it was actually it had a run of newsstand and a run of direct.
Wow. Yeah,
it doesn't say
like running in both of them. And I was like, wow.
Well, I remember when I first started getting into comics, G.I. Joe was the book, and the majority of the times I'd pick them up were at gas stations, on the spinner rack. So I'm sure a lot of people, did the same with that series, just because of the crossover and the kids liking the cartoon or the toys, they see the comic, when they go into these stores and whatnot.
It's one of the few books my kids actually really like reading. Like, I'm trying to get them on comics, and we want that first run G.I. Joe.
Oh yeah, and it's a short run. I mean, it's 155 books, and it's an easy run to put together, and might be a cool thing to do for your kids. Have them put together that run. Take them out with you or something.
Well, you know what's funny? A 9.6 is only $187.
Exactly. Well, is the 9.6 the first print?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
It's even more weird when you look back at the history. Back in 2009, that was there was a $3,000 sale for that. Sure. Lots of $1,000, $2,000 sales, and then it dropped off to like $600 in 2010.
Yeah, it's probably because the census grew.
Or the movie. I can't remember when the movie came out. Is it 2009?
Check out
Well,
that.
some of those books, it's like Hulk 181 took a dive once kind of people started pressing and there were more coming to market for a while.
Yeah. So G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra came out in 2009.
Yeah, Paul, I'm actually going to talk about Zek. One of the things that is cool about that A Real American Hero line is a lot of the books covers were done by Mike Zek, and he's got some real classic covers. Let's see here.
I sent the link to that number 43. I just stumbled upon it.
Yeah, number 43 is a real
That's a cool cover, dude.
classic cover for the series. Obviously, the issue 53, which is the Marvel 25th anniversary, that's one of my favorite covers, and I love getting that book signed. On Snake Eyes, you got a all black Snake Eyes with like these blue tint highlights, and you could get those metallic Sharpie markers. They're called metallic inks, and I think Bic makes them, not Sharpie. And get it in blue, and it's one of the most gorgeous looking signed books that I've ever seen. I'll post some pics of it with that exact, pen and everything. But another tough issue, obviously, is 155, the final issue. That the final 5 issues are really tough to find. If you can find any of those 150 through 155, even some of the high 140s they sell. Let's see here. One of the, if not the highest valued book in that run, is an annual type book they did called Summer Special. It's called, I want to go by Special number 1. Basically what it is the Spider-Man pose from Spider-Man number 1, McFarlane.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And it's Snake Eyes. And
that one is badass.
Yeah, that is my all-time favorite cover. It was so hard to find in the wild, and they put it out right after issue 155, so they didn't make very many copies. Not very many people bought it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, really one of those covers that just catches your eye, even if you have no idea what the character is. The cover was done by, I believe, Scott Koblish is his name, the guy that did Deadpool, and another guy. They teamed up on it. So I'm always trying to find where he's going to be at con-wise, because I have one signed by McFarlane, and I would love to get the other guys to sign it, but it's a beautiful, beautiful book. And in 9/8, that books can go from $700 to $1,000.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen a few hit the Raz page early on. God, I wanted one and I never won it.
Yeah, beautiful book. But that is the Marvel series, the first Real American Hero series. There are some other minor keys in there, first appearances of characters, Zartan, Destro, the Bat, a lot of other characters, minor characters that people look for. There is a couple cool homage covers also. Issue 116 does a cool homage to X-Men Days of Future Past, where they have the wanted posters in the background.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You can also find Mark Jeweler variants, I believe, in the G.I. Joe books, which would be cool. I'll get a issue 21 Mark Jeweler newsstand. That's kind of one of those books that you just really get lucky in finding. They did a crossover with Transformers in some of the later issues. I believe it was the late 130s, and those are some pretty cool books. And moving on from,
hey, can I take a quick pause for the IndieCon guys?
No, go for it.
Hey, remember when Ozzy bought from the revolving wall? He bought that Death of Elektra.
Yeah,
ended up being Mark Jeweler.
Yeah,
wow. Nice.
That's crazy.
It was a bonus. All right, sorry to interrupt. Just made me think.
No, those Mark Jeweler variants. I mean, that's one of the things that I'm kind of keeping an eye out for. I know when Sean and Trey were talking about the first Deadpool Mark Jeweler newsstand, that's kind of like I put that up there with the at least me with the G.I. Joe 21 Mark Jeweler newsstand. So finding those Mark Jewelers always keep your eye out for them. And if you search Jeweler Researchers, easy ways.
You would think there'd be more jewelers of G.I. Joe because you'd think that'd be popular on military bases.
Oh yeah. The next group that you go on to that I'm going to go on to is the IDW run. Image. It's Image/IDW. It started out in Image. They kind of did this rebirth of G.I. Joe in comics, and Image got the title going. And
Didn't Dark Horse have it for a minute?
Dark Horse did it right in between a new Real American Hero and Image/IDW, but it was terrible. It's complete crap.
Is it past a Real American Hero? Is it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
can we go back to a Real
They have a
American
couple
Hero?
cool covers.
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry. So
No.
I just noticed that on a Real American Hero, the Marvel series number 63. Do you know about that one?
Which one? Oh yeah, so that's a really interesting. It's just like some of the X-Men books where they have a so much fun or classic variant they called it.
So rare, dude. There's only
Yeah.
198 right now.
Very rare, and the reason why is because I believe those books were given out in either like a video game or handed out for free, and kids just destroyed them.
Somebody's got a bid right now at 1200. 1200.
Yeah, very tough book to find. But
sorry, I just saw that book. I just
I'm glad you said something. I totally spaced on it.
Yeah, I just saw GI. I just gotta look at GI Joe highest price. I want the highest price books. So
yeah, and so back to the Image line. Image took over, and the first thing to talk about there is J. Scott Campbell. J. Scott Campbell started doing the covers with issue number 1 of the Image line. He's got some really nice covers where you get tired of the J. Scott Campbell chick book covers, So he's got some cool covers there where it's not just some long torso chick on the, standing there, but issue 1 through 4, all J. Scott Campbell covers. And then he does a couple issues later on. Issue number 12 is a really cool book. It is got a sweet cover by Joe Benitez with the battle android, the Bat character. And it's one of the books that has the Invincible previews in it. So if you ever find that, issue number 12, it's kind of like Tech Jacket and the He-Man number 1.
G.I. Joe 12 from Image.
Yeah. And then
stop writing it down, Z.
I think I have. I think that runs in here.
Yeah, you can find those. Those are more prevalent because people don't know about it. They're not as, when they think about the Tech Jackets and the He-Man number 1s, those are what they go look for. You're gonna probably have a better.
I need a He-Man and a G.I. Joe now. Damn it.
Yeah. So after that issue, they did some really cool things with homages to the original issue number 21 in the Marvel series. For issue 20 and 21, Mike Zeck did a 2-part connecting cover book set of 20 and 21, and he kind of paid homage to the silent issue. And I believe they did issue 21 as another silent issue, which is really cool. The following that, there's issue 22, and this is where we get a really cool Michael Turner cover. Michael Turner does the cover for 22, and I want to say 23, and it brings in the Serpentor character, who, if you guys remember the cartoon back when we were kids, they did the movie where Serpentor was kind of on the outs, and he, I believe he was voiced by the guy that played Rocky's trainer. What was that guy's name?
Mickey.
Mickey. So it's
Turner,
funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Got
So
me, Mick.
I think Ozzy took that as part of his payment for helping me move books he saw and wanted the Serpentor.
yeah, it's a sweet cover, man. And I'll get into more things about that cover here in a second. They did some really cool variants, and back then, I guess you could call it store variants with graham crackers. Those are some really high priced books for that run. So actually, I'll just go into it right now. They called it a Renegar version, and I don't know what that is. Yeah. I don't know what that means. Do you guys know what Renegar means? Is that
idea.
okay?
Well, we sold one. So.
Yeah, so you know what it is.
No, I know that was a Trey Grail for a long time.
It's a cool book, man.
It is, and it's another gorgeous cover. And what it is
Mr. Turner.
Yeah. What it is grahamcrackers.com. I believe the store. I don't know where they are, but
Chicago.
There you go. They did a special store variant for that issue, And they did 2 of them. They did a regular version where it's just a kick-ass Michael Turner cover of Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow in mid-fight. Really gorgeous cover. And then they did the same cover with a silver foil variant, which is very hard to find. I want to say they only made 500 of them. I've been lucky enough to pick up 3 since it came out. Every time I see that book, I grab it if the price is right. I really love that cover. And unfortunately, a lot of them, though, will have the foil part misstamped. So it's a little off-center, but still, it's such a hard to find book, really low pop, and it's really hard to get in high grade because the covers are kind of that hard cardboard type cover. So you get the spine ticks really easy.
And they don't press out.
No, they don't press out. So
and we were lucky on ours that we had Michael Turner. Michael Turner signed it.
Yeah,
obviously.
That's cool. I think that might have been some kind of extra thing that you could do, and you can get the Michael Turner signature on both copies actually, which is even better now. Unfortunately, he passed away. I want to say 15 years ago. Actually, he had the same type of cancer my brother had, but he beat it the first time, and then it came back a couple months later. So it was a bummer. But they did that issue. So always be on the lookout for that. If you can, look it up. Look at the cover. When I'm going through long boxes, unfortunately, my memory is more tuned to the covers than it is the numbers. So if you're like me, let that cover sear into your brain because that's a really tough book to find. And if you see it, pick it up. They also did a Graham Crackers version of issue 22, the Serpentor cover, but they did a sketch version. And that is also a Michael Turner cover. Another really tough book to find. Michael
Turner sketch is always beautiful.
Yeah. I think he's probably the most underrated artist out there right now. Unfortunately, we're not getting anything new from him, but a lot of his books, they're really undervalued.
If you're getting a sketch cover, there's only 2 people that you buy. You buy Jim Lee and Turner. Otherwise, sketch cover's crap.
And McFarlane.
McFarlane. Yeah, I really like McFarlane.
I don't know about his sketches even.
Well, those Spawn homage sketch covers are really gorgeous if you get to see them.
I'll let the Todd father in.
Oh,
very nice of you, Z, to let him in.
I mean, he's no Frazetta.
Barely he's in.
They also did a version from a company called Buy Me Toys. I believe that was like an internet-only variant.
No, that's a store in South Bend.
Okay, there we go.
One of my brother's hometown shops.
They did a issue 22 Serpentor variant for that. And I want to say that's another Michael Turner cover. Really cool cover. That goes for a nice little amount. So keep an eye out for that one. They also did a lot of second prints for each cover. So some of them, I want to say it was more like an A and a B type thing that DC is doing now. So they're not any less amount made, but they did some really cool issues. Moving on into the series, you got this character that shows up, and he became a classic, a fan favorite for this G.I. Joe series. And he's called Wraith, and he's kind of like got that whole Predator thing going where he can like cloak in and out. And Michael Turner did a cover for that issue, just like he did for the Renegar issue. So there's a regular cover, and then there's a foil cover, and there's a sketch cover. The sketch covers and the foil covers for that issue 33 are just as tough to find as the issue 21 foils, if not more. And another beautiful, gorgeous Michael Turner cover. And then to finish off the whole Graham Cracker thing for that run, they did
some good shit.
Oh, they do. They really, especially with this G.I. Joe stuff.
Well, they got the best Masters of the Universe shit too. They hit the nostalgia point when they did theirs.
Yeah, big time. Issue 34 is one of my favorite all-time covers. It's an all-black cover, or the variant, that is, the Graham Cracker variant. It's an all-black cover, and then right in the middle of the cover in red foil, embossed red foil, is the Cobra signet.
Oh yeah, Tony loves that book.
Yeah, Tony's got one of those books.
Tony's got a hard on for that one.
Yeah, one of the things that is really cool that I like to do with that is get it signed in silver or gold and try and get as many as the G.I. Joe creators to sign it. That's a perfect book to do it in. Presents really nicely. I think I have one signed by all the Larry Hama, Mike Zeck, Jason Seeley, Josh Blaylock, Joe Benitez. I tried to grab as many of the guys as I can that had anything to do with G.I. Joe and have them sign that book just because it's perfect to get signed in a metallic marker. And that kind of ends the variants part for that Image run. There are a couple other books in that run, just like there are in the Marvel Real American Hero stuff, that are decent books if you can pick them up. They have one of the very first action figure variants in that run. It's a Roadblock action figure variant.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. I can't remember what issue it was. It's one of the earlier issues. I want to say like maybe 15, issue 15, like a B cover.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
It's really cool. He's actually got a chef's hat on inside the bubble, and he's barbecuing. So it's a Roadblock action figure where he's barbecuing. It's really
That's
off the
outstanding.
wall. Yeah. So that's one to be on the lookout for, just because it's one of the really early action figure covers. I'm surprised they didn't do more of them at the time with the whole G.I. Joe thing. I know that G.I. Joe and Star Wars, that's, their little shtick right now is the action figure covers.
I still think that Snake Eyes one for $215 is one of the most underrated action figures. I mean, it is the best drawn one. Forget Christopher Tyler Thomas bullshit. That one that they put out is beautiful and just sells for nothing. It amazes me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The artwork on it is just on point.
Well, there's another really nice looking action figure one for the G.I. Joe series, and it's actually a key issue. They just, you guys have probably heard it, they just introduced a new character, a female Snake Eyes figure.
Yeah.
And I believe it's 246 of the new series. They went back to a legacy numbering, and I think it's issue 246. And they did an action figure variant for Cobra Commander for that issue, and it's just as nice, in my opinion, as the Snake Eyes one. Really good. And
because they put out a regular Snake Eyes one at some point that was not good.
Yeah, yeah. And they did a really cool when G.I. Joe did a crossover with Street Fighter in the comics, which is kind of crazy. They did an action figure cover where it's like a double action figure pack, and it's Snake Eyes and M. Bison, and that's a cool book if you can find it. Yeah.
What was that book again?
Street Fighter G.I. Joe crossover, and it's a Snake Eyes and M. Bison are the two action figures on the cover.
What year was that?
I want to say it's probably late 90s, early 2000s. Probably early 2000s or early to mid 2000s. After that, they did Devil's Duke. I think they lost the licensing to who's doing it now. It's not
IDW now.
Maybe it's IDW.
I think it's still IDW.
Okay. I know that. Okay, I'm confused. So the original Image line turned into Devil's Due, and then now IDW is doing it. So
it's 2010. They started in 2010.
There's some killer variants in that IDW run. We all know about the Adam Hughes Baroness and the Adam Hughes I think it's RRP Baroness. I don't like those variants where it's the half cover. It's just the same cover, but instead of going long ways, they do it vertical or where you only see the first half, and to see the whole cover you have to open it up. I can't stand how they do that, but it's an Adam Hughes book, and it's a hard to find one. That's a really cool cover, just absolutely gorgeous Baroness version. There's a really cool set of books that J. Scott Campbell did for the Danger Girl G.I. Joe crossover. In my opinion, it's his best work, and they did one for Scarlet and one for Baroness. Yeah, beautiful books. They sell raw, I want to say, for $100 maybe.
Yep, I sold it at Indie, dude. A lot I picked up on eBay that one night.
Yeah.
I sold it
to find in condition. Very tough books to find in condition.
I tell you, there's one G.I. Joe that I keep staring at and I can't buy out of principle. It's actually freaking Comic Exposure. You see that? It's labeled 214, but I think it's 215 story for. It's that Virgin sketch variant by Fabio Valle, and it's like Scarlet holding Snake Eyes dying.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
It's
Beautiful.
great.
But it's Comic Exposure. I have a hard time with it.
yeah.
Yeah, you might get it next year.
Yeah, it's like CBCS.
I emphasize might.
Yeah. So another really nice variant, or I believe, I'm not sure if it's a variant. It might be. Art Adams did a Baroness cover in the new IDW series. Beautiful cover. They also did a couple other variants that are tough to find for like cons and stuff like that. So keep an eye out for those.
There's a couple nice G.I. Joe Danger Girl cover #1, like cover A and B, right, Campbell?
Yeah, the sketch covers.
Yeah, just and the regular covers, Campbell,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
I found those. I found a 21 first print. It's like an F plus though.
yeah, that's a tough book to find and grade. There's some really cool G.I. Joe comics that are from overseas, and one of them is really cool. It's it's one of Grant Morrison's first professional works, and it's G.I. Joe European Missions issue 3. Really cool cover of Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, which has never been reused, so it makes it even better. So a lot of those European books, they just reuse covers, but not this one. And most of the stories are different in that run too. But this is a real early Grant Morrison book. I pick it up anytime I see it.
#1, you said?
#3, issue 3, G.I. Joe European Missions.
Yep. That's the Marvel run, right?
Yeah, and it's actually really cool that it's got a full-size poster in the middle, and they actually they do some ads and stuff for the figures. So
There's a 9/8 poster included for $88 shipped.
there you go. Might have to pick that up. Nobody steals it by the end of the night.
I'll send you the link.
Thank you, sir. That's a really cool book. Just cool though. I really like those early creator books to see what's going on and see how they got their start. G.I. Joe also did a oversized series in England called Action Force.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they did a like Captain Britain style size, same type of crappy paper. And instead of G.I. Joe, they called it Action Force because G.I. Joe is more of an American slang.
Yeah.
I saw some of those the other day and I almost picked them up and I passed. I shouldn't have.
There's 2 I pick up every time I see them, and they have issue 11 and issue number 12. They're Snake Eyes covers, and I almost want to think about them being where the idea came from that Batman issue where it's Batman's face and he's looking at Jason Todd when he's pulling off the Red Hood, and then there's a variant of that same cover where it's Red Hood looking at Batman's face.
Mhm.
So it's Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Issue 11 is a really cool Snake Eyes, and issue 12 is a really cool Storm Shadow, and I believe they're both Mike Zeck covers. Really cool covers. And I'm sure there's some other books out there that are comics that are tough to find. If any of you guys know any of them, go ahead and make sure you post them. I'd love to see if there's any out there that I don't know about. I really went crazy over the past 2 or 3 years, maybe a year ago now, for about 2 years, just picking up as many of those hard to find Joe books as possible. I was really lucky and able to find some of those hard to find Grand Cracker foils for cheap. Yeah, they're nice books.
Have you seen the IDW reprinting of Real American Hero? The hardcover in, I think it's like a Foot Locker.
Yes, yeah.
I kind of wanted one of those.
Yeah. Well, Real American Hero, like you said with your kids earlier, it's a great series. That whole run is a good run, in my opinion.
And it's kid friendly, you would say, right?
Very,
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Well, for our generation, there's some things
Yes.
that my wife says I make questionable decisions. So
Yeah, I mean, She's on you.
It was good enough for me. It's good enough for them.
Yeah, they do that whole GI Joe con every year, and they give some con exclusives out. They've been doing con exclusives for
Where
a
is
little
GI
bit.
Joe Con?
I want to say they have it down south somewhere, like in Louisiana, or they change it every year, but it's always in the south.
We need to go to that.
Oh, it would be a blast. I'd love to do it. They give out exclusive figures there. Of course, they do a lot of cosplay.
It's in June 21st to 24th this year. It's in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
There you go.
Done. Let's book it.
Oh
go.
man.
We can stay at Dino's brother or cousins.
Yeah, we can do that in Nashville. Hang out.
There we go. I'm down. Let's do it.
Oh man.
But that's about it for the comics for now. If you guys, like I said, if you guys see anything out or hear anything that maybe I didn't talk about that might be kind of crazy, throw it up in the comments section or let's see what they are.
And
That's
Graham
awesome.
Crackers, I'm saying again, for a company that doesn't really do store variants now, they knocked whatever they ever did out of the park.
Yeah, they really did a good job, like you said, on the whole nostalgia niche.
And they pick good artists.
They did.
Was that Campbell Danger Girl G.I. Joe? Was that a 1 in 10?
No, I want to say it was a 1 in 50.
Was it?
No, I think it's just a B cover.
Really?
Yeah.
Because they're super hard to find.
Well, I mean, you even think nowadays. I mean, well, there's a lot of these stores that they won't even order the B covers of the Rebirth titles at all.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
are they really going to order B covers of GI Joe Danger Girl?
Well, I
Probably not.
found a
They're probably
site.
only ordering them for pull lists.
Well, I found a site has a ton of this G.I. Joe stuff.
You would find a site.
Well, you know, that's what I do, man. You know, while you're trying to turn nothings into something, man.
Yeah.
Dino, I ended up getting in the mail the other day that the other night or the last show where you shot me over that link. You knew I was looking for a J. Scott Campbell variant of the First Hope. You remember that?
Yep.
They came in the other day and they were absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the best shipping jobs I've ever seen somebody do. And it was really refreshing because I've had nothing but shipping nightmares for probably 9 out of the last 10 eBay things I've won.
Well, that's good. I mean, at least were the books pretty good too?
Oh, gorgeous. And you know what it was is
How do you get your ass kicked on shipping so much?
I don't know. I just must be a magnet for douchebags that send in media mail manila envelopes. It drives me crazy. And
Well,
now
I mean,
I
that wasn't. I mean, be honest. I mean, it was a bigger purchase for eBay standards, I guess. I mean, it's not like, I mean, it was like 12 grand, but I mean, still, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when people have variants like that, I would, if you have high dollar books, I'm gonna say 9 out of 10 times they know how to usually pack them.
True, variant people are not average people finding them in the garage. That's true. That makes it already a better chance they take care of their shit.
Right.
It
If
was
you get a $1 book, I mean, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, it was like a 30 book lot or 25 book lot, and 20 of them were variants. They had the normal run, the regular covers for the normal series, the Messiah Complex normal series, and then a couple of those were actually signed by Finch at some show. And there's a little, I know it doesn't mean anything to anybody, but there's a COA in the back, and it's signed by Finch, which is really cool because I didn't see that when I initially hit the buy it now.
Did you? What was the Campbell Messiah look like?
It is gorgeous. I haven't done a really good look at the back, but just a real quick look. It looks amazing. And there was 3 other Campbell variants in there too. There's a Wolverine Campbell variant and
that's a steal in, dude.
Yeah, and a Nightcrawler Campbell variant in there. So
Nice.
a lot of con variants, a lot of sketch variants. So I really appreciate that, man. That's
don't worry,
big
dude. It's all
thanks
good,
for
man.
that.
No, it's nothing. It's
Yeah,
nothing.
it was like perfect timing though, because I was actually looking for that book that day. I've been looking for it for about a month now for a decent price, and
That's what I do, man. I just I guess so everybody knows. At the end of the show, I kind of just go digging. It's like that's what the second or third one I picked up. Just eBay links.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
Yeah.
Real quick, just to add on to that, I'm really bummed out. You guys were talking about how you guys finally got your dirty pair issues.
Yeah.
And I did a buy it now. Somebody had put up a dirty pair, that whole Run from the Future set.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the Adam Hughes variant. And then it also had the Bruce Timm variant. And I did a buy it now, I think for like $160.
Oh, geez.
That's not terrible. That's good.
No, well, I was really stoked just because it had the Bruce Timm variant, which is just as rare as the Adam Hughes ones from what been able to find. And unfortunately, it wasn't in very good condition. So the guy was actually really cool about it. He said, "Oh, I didn't realize it had this tear." And he sent me a picture of the tear and he's like, "Do you still want it?" And I was like, no, but if you want to sell me the other ones, I'll take them. And he's like, "No, I really want to keep it for a set." So I don't know if he got wise to maybe the Bruce Timm variant was in there and he didn't realize it, but it was cool for him to actually, hopefully it was on the up and up. And he's like, "Yeah, I realized that it was a tear along the binding." So he sent me pics and was like, "I don't know. I really don't want to send this out unless you know." So I was really bummed that I didn't get it. But
yeah, like you said, at least he was cool about it and like told you instead of shipped it out, and then you just like, "Well, dude, what is this?"
Exactly.
So
that was another one that hurt. There were some dirty pair sets and no Hughes.
Really?
No variants.
Interesting.
I will have to check for the Tim because I didn't know there was a Tim.
Yeah, it's a really cool cover. And I think it's just as rare. Maybe it's even more rare than the Adam Hughes one.
Bruce Timm is a beast.
Yeah, I love that Tim. That Tim variant's awesome. It does it's got his weird feel, but then because that book's, the covers are like adult, so it's very strange.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Bruce Timm, have you seen some of his like sketchbooks?
Oh yeah,
he's got some dirty ones.
Some dirty, risque.
Some risque.
Yeah.
So I kind of linked this. I'll link it in the YouTube chat too, just because we were talking about GI Joes and kind of action figures, and I kind of saw so Mezco, all our good old buddies at Mezco, the old 112 collection. They have Darkseid now.
Beast. He looks like he's gonna be heavy.
$180.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
That is a high price tag for a 112. So that leads me to believe that it's going to be bigger than a normal size one.
So I probably just hurt Mr. Reagan's pocketbook. Did you buy it already?
Not yet, but I am going to.
What type of material are they made out of? Are they statue material or more action figure?
It depends. I mean, they're pretty much like high end, like like the Marvel Legends action figures.
Yeah.
They're basically like that size, but just done a lot to a much higher precision.
That cape, the cape that they have as an accessory is really badass.
Yeah, well, like a lot of his, I'm pretty sure his belt and some of his other things are going to be metal. His eyes are going to light up.
Different heads, three interchangeable heads. That's awesome.
Yeah, they usually give you like a bunch of different accessories and shit.
Do they do a thing like Sideshow does where you could do the payment plan?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you could pre-order it and then I think they charge you when it ships.
Yeah, they do a non-refundable deposit.
You guys see Blade on this thing?
What's that?
They got a Blade. Do you see that?
Yeah, I mean they're starting to really branch out now. They're getting a lot more licenses.
Oh, I put the Blade in the comments. That's kind of badass
there's a
too.
Popeye coming for Sean.
Yeah, I should send that to Quavers too. He's a Popeye fan too.
Did you see the Ghostbusters set?
No, that Blade set's badass. So I might just buy the Blade set because that just looks badass.
Yeah, so like $80 is the price tag of a normal.
Yep, that's what Blade's going for. $80.
Yeah, so the Darkseid being 180 means that's going to be a bigger figure. I think most of them are 6 inches. This looks like it's going to be about 7.5. It's probably going to be heavy. Yeah, they have a lot of good licenses now.
I mean, that's cool that they're actually doing a bunch of stuff like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Ghostbusters Deluxe box set for $300. Jeez, old Pete.
It's four figures, though.
Yeah.
I have a hard, I don't know why. I have a hard time if they're not statues, and I just have a hard time spending a lot of money for the ones that aren't statues.
Well, they're that quality, but they're just smaller.
Yeah.
They're like, it's 1/12 scale, so they're basically 6 inches. But they're the quality of like the slideshow and what's the other one? Same exact quality, but
okay. All right. So they're kind of heavyish.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes it better. At least for me.
I have the armored Batman, and it weighs a ton because like all the armor is metal.
They did I don't know if it was Mezco. No, I don't think it was Mezco. There's a line of like anime type figures. They're the comic figures, but they're like anime type style.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the company that does it, but they did a Dark Side one, anime take on Dark Side, and it's badass. That's one of the few anime type things I own. I didn't pick that up when I saw it. I think Darkseid's so underrated. I know everybody is going crazy about him, and they have been for the last couple of years, but I think he's still underrated as just in comics, and then collectability wise. I don't know why he's not double in price or value as.
I think it's because of the fact that like the first appearance is still kind of iffy, right? Aren't there a couple books vying for that?
I mean, 134, right? I mean, Jimmy Olsen 134, right?
Have you guys ever looked through that issue?
No.
It's freaking hilarious. It's literally in one panel, there's a TV in the background the size of a quarter, and Darkseid's face is in that TV.
I heard he colored wrong too, right?
Yeah. No. Is that Darkseid or Thanos, the one that's colored wrong in there?
No, I think it doesn't even look like him.
Okay, yeah. Well, I picked it up just because he's one of my favorite characters, so I've picked up one of each of the 134, 135, the Forever People, and the New Gods. But all those books are tough to find in high grade.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it kind of starts like he said. It starts at 134, 135. So 134 was December 70. 71 January was 135. Jimmy Olsen. Then February, March was Forever People 1, New Gods 1. And then March of 71 was pretty much 136, and it goes into Forever People and New Gods for 2, 3, and 4 the next coming months of 71 there, leading into August, September. So that's like the arc, I guess. Or
I think New Gods #2 is his first cover appearance. Pretty sure.
What is it again?
New Gods #2.
I think Overstreet says, right, who cares about? Well, Overstreet says Forever People #1 is his first full, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and Jimmy Olsen 133 is the first return of Jack Kirby, so that's kind of cool in itself.
Yeah.
If you can find that whole little 3-issue run, that's a great little 3-issue set to pick up. I really fell into a black hole of picking up Kirby stuff because I never really was into him until I got a little older. I always thought it was kind of cheesy, but I really enjoy the Return to DC stuff, or Return to DC, where he started with the New Gods and all that stuff. I love picking that stuff up. Coloring is just the design, the colors, everything about that. You could tell it was early 70s era stuff. All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
See, a new member has joined.
Yeah, who's that?
What up, dudes?
Uh-oh, Matty Ice.
I had a pause problem tonight. As soon as I got home, a cat knocked over this giant glass bowl. I was literally sitting down to do the podcast, and I hear this. Yeah, paw problem tonight. What up? What up, folks?
Not much. How you doing?
Same old.
So let's spend a half hour refreshing everybody so Matt knows what we did.
Yeah. Let's wrap up.
All right, so Brian, just go through your G.I. Joe thing again.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll start from the beginning.
Devo found himself a new logo.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I went back with the Mega Man.
Nice.
That whole Mega Man article was pretty crazy. That was really good. The Blue Bomber article.
Yeah, no, that we were chatting about it. I was like, oh, make sure you have this one. He's like, yep, got it.
Just the fact that first Nintendo, the stateside Nintendo box art is so crazy looking.
Oh yeah, the original covers are terrible for Mega Man 1, 2, and 3. They're like probably the worst covers of all time.
Yeah.
Like Mega Man 1, it's just some guy in a suit. It looks so bad.
Nothing like the character.
No. Well, it was a guy, and he had like he didn't even have like a little photon gun. He had literally a gun in his hand.
It's like they used an old piece of art and just drew over it.
Hey, buddy, wear this suit. Hold this gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But
another nice article is that Flash Gordon one was pretty intense.
Yeah. Clint really blows me away. He's I gotta hook up with him and go comic hunting. He lives pretty close to me, so he's doing a kick-ass job. He really does some good stuff.
I wish I wasn't lazy. Years ago, I would write articles. Now I'm lazy.
Yeah.
There's so many articles that I want to write, but there's just no time. Like
Matt, you have the one article that everybody wants.
Well, it's like I can't do it during the week anymore. So it's like, I do it like Friday night, and we do like movie night at our house every Friday night. So when everyone goes to bed at like 10, I'll usually sit down around 10:30, and then I'm up until 2:30 finishing it, and then laying down at 3, and then the kids all wake up at like 6:30, and I was like, dang it.
So you're saying articles they don't take 5
we
minutes?
We need somebody to sub Matt for 4 weeks to do his weekly article, so somebody can take and he can do his yearly article.
Like I feel Ben's pain because I will say that the top 10 is way harder than the day after.
The day after is limited to like 100 books.
Yeah, but I helped. I covered one top 10 for Ben, and I told him like this is way harder because trying to like fish through every sale for like the past week, it's.
No, I send him shit all the time. He's like, yeah, that's not that exciting.
I thought the risk the risk analysis was terrible too, or the Wednesday. It's like just sitting there and thinking about stuff and looking through all the data. It's like I love it, but it's like, ugh. I sent Ben the Zombie Tramp sale, and that wasn't on the list.
I send him something every week for the old shit.
I was like,
no.
I was like, dang it! I was looking for a shout out, Ben. A shout out.
Hey, that Zombie Tramp thing, I can't even figure out which one because like you look through a bunch of different databases, and like the same book looks different. Like in multiple different.
They redid the cover. Yeah, they redid the cover for the what was it? Not Origins, but I forget what it was called, but it wasn't under Action Lab. It was like a self-titled. I think there was only 100 issues per like 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, they're super rare. And then I was talking to Mel. I was like, not to make you feel any worse about your selling these too early, but I'm like, yeah, look at this sale. And he's like, oh, that sucks. He was like, yeah, I had 3 of each of them. I was like, dang it, man. That was a good 10 grand, 12 grand right there.
Were those like put out self-published? Is that what they are? They're like a self-published type
exactly.
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I don't know exactly where. I heard Comic-Con, but who knows if that's right.
Yeah, I love those type of books. I love finding those Battle Popes made by the Funkatron ones and the Coheed and Cambria comics that were handed out at concerts. And
This is when digging, benefits the diggers. Like you can find some of that really rare stuff, like Z and a bunch of people who picked up the Sandman second print, the 75 second print. I'm like, you're only gonna really get that if you're digging. You're not just gonna find that at like an online store.
That puppy found a new home already.
That's good. Yeah, I bought the only thing I bought in last week were 2 ASM 300s.
Oh, nice.
Already sold those 2 days later. It was gone.
Yeah, that book's easy to sell.
Yeah, and it was a beat to shit copy, right? It was it was on the shelf for $30, and it was like no brainer. I'll take it. And it was like VG at best.
How much?
Sold it for $175. It was $30.
Nice.
Yeah.
I haven't seen $30 ASM since I was 12.
That's stupid.
Right.
You don't even have to think about that one.
No, I was like, I'll take that. Yep. I was like, do you have any more?
Yeah.
Do you have the $40 version? Thank you.
And then they got all this new stuff in recently, and it was a bunch of variants that I've looked for years, and now that they're cold, I finally found them. Like there was a Figment 1 in 100 for $5 there, and I was like looking up online, and it was like $10. I was like,
there's a lot of spec books that are like a third of the price you remember them at.
But do you think they're going to come back?
Figment? Probably not.
Oh, I mean, I'm digging through this these boxes of shit, and I'm like, oh, this is a $60 bill. Oh, wait, it's a $10 bill.
Yeah, you look at books, I'm like, wow, this was so hot. Beast of Burden, yes. Or no, what was that Golem one? That's the one I'm thinking of. The one that Trey liked a lot.
Breath of Bones.
Oh,
yeah, Breath of Bones. Yeah, I have a whole stack of those.
Even that Star Wars tale with the Chewbacca as Bigfoot, that one is like a third of what it was.
Z, did you get any Star Wars stuff? Oh, you don't have variants, but you don't. Yeah, never mind.
I don't have variants, but I have 2 long boxes of Dark Horse Star Wars shit.
Oh, nice.
That Star Wars Tales, the Star Wars Tales run, that is a great run. Amazing run. And then they have the A and B covers for most of those books.
Z, chop them up in sets and sell them at the con.
Oh, I'm gonna start organizing that kind of shit.
That was like the first stuff that I sold out of in my set.
What's funny because these things were all raw books jammed together, and I'm like, all right, so what we're gonna do, because every box has Star Wars, so we're gonna pull all the Star Wars out and put them in a box.
So, Z, what was your top 3 books that you found in that in 150 boxes?
First Black Panther.
Yeah.
Invincible 1. And I'm either going to go with the NYX3 or Iron Man 1.
Oh, you found an NYX3. That's cool.
Yeah. There were some heartbreakers, but there were some good ones. I was convinced there was a Walking Dead. I was convinced, and there was not.
There was one day where
I will take the Invincible because actually that is one I just wanted for my PC, but I've been too fucking cheap for 5 years to buy it.
No, so you didn't have one?
No, I wanted one.
I thought you got one already.
I'm a cheap bastard. I'm like, it is not an investment book.
Yeah. Well, now you got it. Good for you.
I've been looking for that book for a while too.
That's probably the one that isn't for sale because it's just like I'm not going to pay for another.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of crappy books that I won't sell.
The real question is, what's the crappiest book I found?
Yeah, there you go.
You probably need any
7 boxes of cross-gen.
Any WWF books in there, dude?
No, not a wrestling fan.
Nah.
Yeah, wrestling fans are unique.
They are.
Those wrestling covers, man, I want them, but I'm like, why am I buying a wrestling cover?
Jimmy's got that Mike Tyson 9.8. I want it so bad.
That's intense. I told you guys a few months ago my kids chipped in money to get the WD channel.
Yeah.
And they watch it before bed every night. Like whether they're watching like a match or they're just watching like top 10 lists or all that shit. And I'm like, I'm listing books, and all of a sudden I start finding myself wandering back in the room with TV going, I remember that match. What kind of age matches, top 10, whatever it is. I'm like,
What's your
remember
favorite
that.
old school match? Have they told you yet?
No, but I made him watch WrestleMania 3
My
not
man.
too long ago. I'm like,
Did you watch Antonio want the Savage Steamboat match like a million times because it's the best match ever?
we're gonna pick another one soon. But they wanted to see Andre. They were like, we're gonna see Andre.
Well, the crazy part about WrestleMania 3, sorry to come off topic, that I literally was 3 minutes down the road for WrestleMania 3 as it was happening. Like, my grandma lives in Pontiac, Michigan still. And she lives like, I could walk to the Silver Dome. It's like a half a block away.
But you were like 3.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of sad. I wish I could have went.
But I mean, it was fantastic because there was just stuff you don't even remember. I mean, Hogan and them was amazing, but just all the undercards are like, God damn, these are people I remember, but you don't remember.
Well, especially since if you watch Andre the Giant, the documentary, I don't know if anybody's watched that.
Oh, we watched that as a family. Even my 5-year-old was like in it.
How was it?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was like, and it leads up to WrestleMania 3 and how broken down Andre was, and like you really didn't notice it. I mean, unless you were like an Andre the Giant super fan, but like he literally did no moves in a match. Like he just stood there kind of because he was so broken down at that point.
It was so ironic how he was such a hated heel, but he was probably one of the nicest people ever.
But he was only a heel
lives.
for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's what they were saying too. That like they like he got tired of people booing him. He just wanted to be a nice guy, you know, and like he just wore on him.
I remember the match I remember the most is the Undertaker cage match with Mankind.
Oh, when he threw him off the cage in '98.
Yeah, that was that was just pure craziness.
I remember watching it live, and like the table spot by far is ridiculous. The second one that nobody really remembers is when he gets thrown through the cage onto the actual
and it
wrestling.
breaks. Yeah,
It
and it breaks.
That
And
one
all the
probably hurt.
pins.
Yeah, that probably hurt more actually than the table spot. I'm going to tell you.
And then he threw all the tacks on the ground, and
And he got up and like survived it somehow. Like
he was genius. That whole run where he was playing the dual characters, and he had Dude Love interview man. It was a Dude Love interview Mankind or something like that.
Yeah.
That was just genius.
Well, and the problem was is like that spot when Undertaker choke slammed him through the cage onto the wrestling mat was actually not planned.
Hell no!
And like the crazy part is that the chair that was down there on the wrestling mat was like inches away from his head and could have killed him.
Yep.
Crazy.
I tell you, we watched the Andre thing. I want to find maybe it's 5 years ago. Hitman had an autobiography movie. Or a biography movie. I want that one because I remember that one was intense.
Are you talking the one with HBK? They got that one on the network, I think.
What is it?
It's like Hitman HBK. Like they talk about the Montreal screw job. And it's
no, it was like God, that wasn't it. It was all about. It was older. I bet it was 8 years ago, even.
Let me look. Hitman 98 Hitman Heart Wrestling with the Shadows.
Yes. Well, shit, 98?
98.
Oh, God, it was a long time ago. That was a great one.
You know what? I liked Bret Hart growing up. Like, he was one of my favorite characters. Like,
oh, yeah, and the kids don't get it.
Perfection in the ring.
But I heard a lot of the actual real guys hate him. I mean, they never liked him. Yeah.
Stone Cold
outside of the ring, they just couldn't stand the guy.
No, but he was one of the best, like, wrestlers. Like, just skill.
Well, and the problem too is like he took it like real serious. Like during the Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels documentary with Jim Ross was a moderator, he like couldn't separate the wrestling world like fake I guess fake would be a bad word, but like the storyline part of wrestling to like wrestling and like just being real. And he just because like during the whole documentary, like Shawn Michaels is there and they're just talking about it. He's like, yeah, man, I kind of don't remember a lot of stuff, and he's just kind of being a dick about it. And like Bret Hart's like, no, it really happened. He's like, I know, but we're telling a story, dude. Like it was a story. Like he couldn't distinguish, like, So, but even like, I wonder if your kids are gonna like the Warrior Hogan match.
They don't even really know who the Ultimate Warrior is yet.
I know.
That was my favorite. Him and Jimmy Snuka were my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah, Warrior was the beast.
Well, that's what I enjoy is because they're watching all these top tens and they're seeing, you know, because they flash back to older people and newer people, and you're like, this guy was the shit.
You know,
And
like
Ricky,
you know what the real tragedy is like Royal Rumbles. Have you guys been watching Royal Rumbles like 94 Rumble or 93 Rumble?
No.
No, when Ric Flair came to the WWF.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
And that's when Heenan was like on commentary, and Heenan was like pro Ric Flair forever, and he was like cheering for him during commentary, which was the ultimate. But it's like people don't realize like that's not even Ric Flair's best work, because Steamboat and Ric Flair back in I'm getting all confused. It's not WCW. It's like the territory days.
TNA.
Like, yeah.
And NWA.
NWA, yeah, the old NWA leagues is like one of his best matches, and it gets overlooked all the time. You know, but that's our little wrestling segment, I guess.
I was so out of wrestling, and my damn kids have like dragged me back in.
I mean, the new stuff's okay, but I mean,
I don't watch the new stuff, but I just love like the look backs.
Yeah.
Matt,
wait till you get to Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon ladder match.
Oh, Razor Ramon. Yeah. That guy was slimy.
You know, my wife on her top 5 list of all time is fucking Big Sexy.
Oh, Kevin Nash?
She's a big Nash fan.
Nice.
Which is why she married you, because you guys are identical.
Very, very close for all of you that met me.
Is Rick Rude up there too?
Sadly, no.
Rick Rude was a beast, man.
Yeah.
Wait till your kids grow up and actually understand Rick Rude and angle with Jake the Snake's wife.
Oh, that's funny because I mean, between a 5-year-old and a 12 or a 10-year-old, there's different understandings of what's happening in the TV too.
It's kind of like The Simpsons.
Wait till you should watch you know what, to give your kid your 5-year-old nightmares, let him watch Papa Shango, dude.
Oh, that dude.
Scared the fuck out of you, dude. I was scared as shit, I'm not gonna lie.
I remember him.
Black voodoo bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, for WrestleMania, I should have taken a picture and I didn't. They had the shrine to the New Day up.
Nice.
I had bought that New Day 9/8 variant. We had at the store found New Day Unicorn Stampede pops. They had action figures. They had their New Day action figures beating the shit out of anybody else. It was pretty amazing.
Did you see did they tell your wife to make pancakes on WrestleMania Day?
They didn't, but I mean they are fucking into the New Day.
Hey, New Day's cool. Xavier Woods is like a PhD. He's got a PhD in like science or some kind of education or some shit. He's a smart dude. Yeah. He's got a good YouTube channel, up, down, down, about video games.
No, they're enjoyable. It amuses me how much they're in.
That's good though, man.
I came home and I'm like, you guys built a fucking shrine to watch WrestleMania.
That's funny.
So, have any of you guys made any money off East of West yet?
I never had one.
I'm trying really hard.
Like I saw ones in the dollar bin, and I was like, it's probably done.
We made more money off Deadly Class, didn't we, Scotty?
That's selling more raw for number 1 still.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's lower.
How much is Deadly Class 1 going for?
Still about $25. East to West is floating around 12.
There's a full set at my store for $79. I don't think it's worth it.
East to West or Deadly?
Deadly, sorry.
Does it come with the variants or just a regular?
Nah, I think it's just all first prints.
I don't think so.
The 7-Eleven variant, we sold like 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
Huh.
I don't think there's enough meat on the bone there.
No. If you wanted it, I mean that's almost like cover price there.
East to West is a tough one because a lot of those futuristic Western type, movies haven't done so well in the past.
Westworld's doing all right.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it could have like a little bit of a Westworld feel to it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, is there room for another, or does Westworld own that space? I was actually talking to someone at work about space movies, and generally, like we were like, yeah, no one's touching space movies right now because you kind of have Star Wars and Marvel really owning that space, and there's no more interest in it. Like there's any other space movie is kind of.
Did you see Lost in Space?
Well, that's different. That's
count?
that's TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's really good.
I heard it's great.
Is it kid appropriate?
No.
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 If you have to wait that long to answer, it's
Well, no. I mean, it's not like it's a bunch of sex or nudity or anything like that. It might be cursing and stuff.
All right.
You could just rename it to Home Alone in Space.
Yeah.
Now, Matt.
My wife was watching. I'd let the kids watch freaking a couple of rock movies. What's the spy one with him and Kevin?
Which
Hart?
movies?
The Rock and Kevin Hart. What's it?
CIA. The CIA one.
And I'd let them watch it 3 times,
That's
and
so
she
funny.
watched it with them the other morning, and she's like, "What are you doing? Every other minute's a dick joke."
That's kind of funny.
So what?
Well, they got him. They got to learn how to make fun of them.
Now,
we live and die by dick jokes.
It's
Matt,
like a skill set for a man.
Right. Yeah. Was that Ben?
no, it's me. I would
Oh,
agree
it's
with you that that there might not be somebody that would want to compete, but it's Amazon. I think Bezos wants to compete with anybody. I think he wants he wants his Game of Thrones. He wants his Westworld. And I feel like this could probably be their Westworld.
Amazon is slowly stepping up their game.
Yeah.
Dude, I watched Daddy's Home on Amazon, and I've never seen that movie. It's by far one of Will Ferrell's fucking greatest movies ever.
Daddy's Home 2 is even better.
Is it? I haven't seen it yet.
It is.
It's got John
Daddy's
Cena
Home
in it.
2. Daddy's Home 2 is fantastic. Highly recommended.
I haven't seen either.
Yeah, John
No,
Cena.
both
John Cena's
really
in number 2, so I gotta watch that one. So that's fucking hilarious, though.
I think Amazon's working at it, man. They've got they've got a couple shows.
And they got a ton of money to throw at it. I mean, he's touting they have 100 million Prime subscribers.
That's the thing. Like, they can compete because they can't lose money. It doesn't matter. They can throw whatever they want out, and it just doesn't matter. Where Netflix,
they're building a brand. They don't.
Look at their stock price too, man. It's at $1,200 right now, or $1,400. I mean, it's not going down. That's the problem.
Yeah.
TV for Amazon's a loss leader almost.
Yeah,
it's like a market. We could throw money at it until you don't have any more fucking subscribers.
Yeah,
and now you have Apple jumping into the mix. I read that Netflix produces 700 pieces of content per year.
That's a lot.
Wow.
Is that shows or
a lot
episodes?
of documentaries.
I think it's just content, all shows and movies.
They do a lot of documentaries.
Yeah, it's nuts.
That's a big number.
I mean, if you just compare it, like, let's say studio, they generally put out 10 to 12 movies a year and make about maybe 20 pilots for the TV season. Just for comparison.
I mean,
Wow.
and so talk about movie studios and stuff. I mean, their workforce has to be 3 times as big as a movie studio, right? I mean, for all that content, figure, right?
I mean, there's a lot of less steps, right? Because there's a lot of divisions that just don't exist at Netflix. Like, they don't really have a home entertainment division because they're direct to, their market is the same. So they don't have, there's no, there's usually a division that deals with the theaters and selling their films out and licensing and working with advertisers, and I mean, there's none of that exists. So you just have people like creating content, advertising, marketing. It's pretty brilliant, pretty easy, but they are in debt. So,
well, I mean, on paper, right? Because if they were really in debt, I mean, they would have folded technically.
Well, yeah, exactly. The Disney thing will be interesting. We were kind of talking about that too. That you haven't heard any new Marvel stuff popping up for Netflix because they're obviously holding it all back until they get their own streaming up.
Yeah.
We haven't chimed in on the Teen Titans leaked photos, have we?
Do we want to?
Yeah, there's a
No,
reason for
It
that.
makes me sad.
I mean, I was going to ask you how you felt about that because you're all in on Teen Titans.
I'm not invested in. I just would like to see it, but
Well, that's what I
it makes
meant.
me sad.
You're a super fan.
I don't know. We'll see.
Granted, she said it was like half costume and no special effects, and so who knows?
We'll see what it looks like, but man, it's not a good initial impression. Like everybody was making fun of the Shazam pictures. I'm like, that's what I expect Shazam to look like. He's pretty cartoony,
Right.
and Levi put on fucking 50 pounds.
Maybe the TV show is just a really big Teen Titans Go prank.
Did you see what I bought today, Maddie?
No.
I bought a Teen Titans Go Volume 1 run, 1/55 near mint today.
Oh, that's cool. Did it have any of the variants in it? That one that you're looking for?
I don't think there are variants.
There was one, right? Tim knows about it. He's been looking for it.
There's a variant? I don't even know. They didn't even show pictures. I don't think there's a variant. There's a number that sold that Ben put in the top 10.
There was one variant I heard for Teen Titans Go.
God damn it. Now I got to look.
There's
I did pick up a weird SDCC limited book a while back. I don't know what it is even. But I don't know. I just think that run has potential.
It's a
absolutely.
it's a Toys R Us.
Was
It's
it
the same
Toys-
cover. Yeah, it's the same
Toys R
cover.
Us version, huh?
Yeah, number 2.
Damn it. All right. I'm on it. The Beast Boy one?
Yeah.
Okay, in the memory banks. But I just think that fucking cartoon has kind of transcended for a bit. Like, if Rick and Morty's worth fucking insane numbers, Teen Titans Go has got to have a little bit of a grasp. It's not a dollar book at this point.
I mean, how long has that show been going for? 3 years now?
It's already on season 5.
5 years, jeez. I really enjoyed the episode where they went looking for the creator, and they were just the whole episode was like all a love fest. All the people that were making the show.
I also heard
that?
no, I have not, but I also heard they're bringing back the original Cartoon Network Teen Titans for season 6
I did hear that. Yeah.
to finish off that storyline. I'm like, between that, Young Justice 3, Teen Titans Go going, a Teen Titans TV show, there's a lot of fucking Teen Titans action on.
This is your year, Z.
I should. I have a Teen Titans boner the size of Detroit.
Now, did you find any good Teen Titans stuff in your collection?
No,
In those $150.
he did not buy much DC except fucking Legion.
And not to get nothing with a Supergirl in it.
Not a single variant, but he liked, the sexy girl. And I'm like, maybe he just picked up that one variant. Nope, you found it. You're like, God damn it.
Now, did he take anything out before he sold it?
Not as far as I know. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I told the guys that there was some, like there was a Silver Surfer 1-9 Volume 1 run, but no 4, and like there was no Fantastic 448, but there also wasn't a 49. So either when he was a kid, he just bought them off the newsstand and missed some, or when he was younger, he traded them.
Or
he
he
had
kept a few back that's like on the wall or something.
No, because I got the Black Panther, I got the first Iron Man 1, I got other great books. It just, I
Yeah,
just
but Black
think that
Panther wasn't technically a popular book until 3 months ago.
No, I don't think he got him, because like I didn't have Fantastic Four 45 either, but I had 46 and 47. I had, I just think he picked them up off the shelf. There weren't full runs. So, you'd have out of 20 issues, you'd have 15. I think it's just a kid buying them when he was a kid, and no Bronze Age books.
Do we want to leave East or West, or you want to go on to it? You think? It's got
I
to
mean, there's really not many variants for that series.
What do you mean
Obviously
there's not many variants?
for East to West?
Well, number one had a shit ton, didn't it?
No, it only had it had the RRP, it had a Ghost variant, and a Forbidden Planet variant. That
Was that it?
Yeah.
Man, why did it feel like so many?
What's the RRP
You know, here's
going for right now? Is that
758 for 9.8.
Yeah, one finished today at 758.
Jeez Louise. I was like, you could pick that up for like $60, like 2 weeks ago.
I mean,
I mean, like
was-
an ungraded. Sorry.
You could have picked up a CBCS 9.9 for 125 2 weeks ago.
I don't think 125 was going to get it. You were holding that one pretty tight.
I was thinking about it, but you might have if you'd put cash in my hand.
Yeah, there's probably not many keys. I mean, issue 2 has a lot of first appearances, and issue 5 is the first appearance of Babylon. That's probably about it.
What's it about? I don't know anything.
I feel like the only thing is it's going to be like Preacher Spec and that it may not be close enough.
It could be. I mean, it's basically like it starts off in the Civil War, but the Civil War doesn't end, and it goes on to like 1908, and then like a meteor hits the United States, so everybody ends up just like calling a truce. But by that time, like the U.S. is split up into 6 different nations. Like the Chinese have one spot. The Union is like basically the North. The
Is
Confederacy.
this a true story?
Yes, it is. It's actually based on complete fact.
It's on the History Channel and shit, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Right
I mean,
after Pawn Stars.
It's in a book, so I mean, it has to be true. Texas is another one. The nation is basically like the Indians, and the kingdom is the Louisiana. And what else was there? The PRA, the People's Republic of America, basically like the Chinese came over, took over the West Coast. Sorry, Matt.
No. Been there.
But it's basically about like Armageddon. You know, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse come down, and
Sounds fun.
Death ends up falling in love with this chick, having a kid. And he basically wants to give up the life and just live with his wife and kid.
You know, when you say that, all I can think of is the Grim Reaper from Family Guy. When he has like the kid, so fucking funny.
And then basically the other 3 horsemen find Death and kill him, and he thinks that they killed his kid and killed his wife, but then he finds out that his wife and kid are alive, and he goes basically off on revenge. It's pretty interesting. It's like Western sci-fi mixed with a lot of different shit. It's pretty cool. And Dragota's art's pretty damn good on the whole series. He really kills it. Any of you guys read it? What's that?
I was asking Z if he saw the link I sent.
I did. I was actually hunting while you. It's not a high dollar one, but I did see it.
I haven't read it. I was going to read it, but life got in the way. But it's an image, right? So I mean,
Yeah, it's image.
I mean,
It's like
gotta
up
be
to
decent.
issue 36 right now.
I think I read the first trade.
Is it still ongoing?
Yeah.
Is there like an end date?
I mean, it's getting close. I think issue 50-ish, somewhere around there. I don't think they've actually set a date. But I mean, I'm assuming it's not going to last much longer after the apocalypse, which is getting closer.
Getting closer to midnight.
Yeah.
Cool. You excited that it's going to get out? I mean, it got optioned.
I mean, you can't really get too excited at this point. I mean, if
No,
they
but
get,
Amazon's a safe bet.
I hope so. I mean, if they start writing the script, that's when I'll get excited.
My gut is something's going to get produced, even if it's the pilot season thing. Because at
I
least
think
Amazon
they
will do
wouldn't-
that: shoot 6 pilots and let the population vote.
Yeah, I don't think they would mess with a guy like Hickman if they weren't serious.
No, I think you'll get a show. Is it the show you want? Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that could be whatever, but I know I got a lot of books to sell. That was
Do you have a
basically
lot
my.
of them?
Yeah, I have a lot of slabs, not a lot of raws.
That's the other weird thing on this streaming stuff, though, is you don't get the week-to-week buy-in like Walking Dead. You get it's
Yeah.
released and people watch it in a week, and you just don't know. Like The Tick, I thought even when they broke it up into 2 little mini seasons, it's like I'm gonna get some hits. No, it didn't. It doesn't. There's not a week-to-week build.
Right. There's not like a lot of chatter. Oh my gosh, did you see what happened last night? It's like
It's closer to a movie.
Yeah, it's like Luke Cage, like Hero for Hire. Like, oh, it's like it got hot, and then after the first season, it was all after what a week maybe after everybody saw it, I was like, eh. Same thing with Iron Fist. I guess those shows.
Well, Iron Fist was shitty.
Well, I know that, but I guess those shows. I guess when it comes to like streaming shows like that, I guess the pop off points, the pre series. I guess even Punisher, right? I mean.
I don't know. Punisher, it didn't jump again, but man, it hasn't went down.
I mean,
But I think he's a more transcendent character than everybody
he's
else.
a staple.
He was in the public lexicon way before the other ones.
I think movies have a lot more effect than TV shows now.
Well, the TV shows also have that lull point where, like, halfway through or third through, it's just boring. You got to go through like 2 or 3 episodes of just you're trying to get to the end type deal. Seems like each one of those Netflix series has that point.
Well, but the only Marvel show that's actually a show is S.H.I.E.L.D., and that's not really. It's not really a Marvel show. It's like a Marvel adjacent show.
there you go, talking about Shield again.
I haven't watched it this year. I don't know, but it's not really Marvel. It's just kind of like close to.
Wow.
I was gonna ask you guys what books you were holding on to spec wise that you've had for a long time that you're about to drop.
You know what I just dropped the last 6 weeks I shouldn't have is fucking Eternals. I sold a few of those at the con, cheap dumbass.
Did you guys see the black cut option today?
The what?
That Black Mask, that Black comic. Remember Black came
I
out?
remember it, but I wouldn't buy back into it. I made a lot of fucking money after Baltimore 2 years ago.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, we killed that.
Yep.
Scotty Too Hottie to the rescue there.
Paul,
It's
you
like,
were
let's just keep buying them.
talking about dead spec and stuff like that. My problem is that I turn them into dead spec because I forget to put them up or I wait too long. Yeah, I sit on them too long.
Mm-hmm.
I've got short boxes full of stuff that I could have made so much money off of that I just was either didn't have the time to put them up or,
It's a
totally
hassle putting
forgot.
things up. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Tony does it for us, and it's a godsend because he just does it late at night when there's nothing to do in the Great White North. But
For 11 months a year.
yeah, I couldn't imagine just doing. I mean, he's dedicated to it, definitely. So
I have like
So-
I have like
I'll go for it.
I don't know, I have like 75% of a short box full. I got 100 bullets, letter 44,
Queen and Country.
Ronin.
Six
I don't know why. I think that
Ronan,
But that's not shit you've missed. That's shit that's just never taken off.
that's what I mean. I have Sheltered. Like
Oh.
2 issues of Sheltered.
Sheltered was a great read.
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us. I'll buy those from you.
Yeah.
No, I'm hanging on to those. That,
God
I'm
damn
gonna get that someday. But anyway,
You got some bunker in there too?
yeah, right. The last 2 random ones are
Nowhere Man.
Sleeper and Nightmare.
I got
We'll
some
see.
Fear Agent RRPs.
I have some Fear Agent somewhere else too.
I should have bought those Last of Us when I was there last
There's an
time.
RRP for Fear Agent? I missed that one.
That's a good book just to hold on to.
It's like it's a Frazetta kind of homage too.
I like the Fear Agent. The first couple issues, the art really looks reminds me of Rick from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't it Tony Moore?
No, it was Tony Moore. You're right.
Yeah, Tony Moore. He should do more stuff. I don't know what he's doing these days.
He's probably salty over the whole Walking Dead thing still.
Well, if you lost millions of dollars, it would
I'd be salty
pretty
too,
hard.
I guess.
Oh yeah. I mean, has anybody really ever heard exactly what happened? Was it just a falling out, or?
I think it was just a rights. Like, Kirkman brought him on to do the art, and I think it was like always kind of Kirkman's book, and he brought him in, and then he was like, I think Tony Moore went on to do other stuff. I don't think it was a falling out. I think he was just moved on to something else, and then they brought Adler in, and 50 issues in, or 20, about 30, 40 issues in, the show became a hit. So it was kind of
Well, it'd be interesting to see if Tony had any input on like creation, you know what I mean? Or if it was just pure art.
well,
'Cause I
I'm
know
sure he had
It's kind of like Stan and Kirby.
Well, I also know that they did Battle Pope together for Funkatron, and that I imagine they probably did that together because they were friends, and maybe they came up together, because that's one of those things where two unknown people just kind of doing their thing. I think Walking Dead was the first book that got them any notice. It was actually their second book they ever did, I think, right?
right, and then it was Invincible after Walking Dead.
Yeah. Or was it Invincible first? I don't think so, right?
No, it came after Walking Dead.
Okay.
But like in between, Kirkman did a bunch of Marvel stuff, like Jubilee series and
Marvel Team Up.
I don't know when Marvel Zombies happened, like well after Invincible, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But he did there was a couple Image books that he did before Walking Dead also, right? Like some no-name books.
I think it's Tech Jacket.
Maybe.
Yeah, Jacket's him.
Yeah. Man, do you know how badly I want to see like a Marvel Zombies movie or a show?
Oh man, it would be nice
If they
to see
just
that
cut loose.
a Shield or something. They do it just like the storyline where the Fantastic Four go in a different dimension, or Shield goes in a different dimension. That would
And now
be
that
perfect.
they have it back, and you have like Magneto again, like saving everyone. I mean, it was a fun story.
Yeah.
But the first iteration was awesome.
Yep. Yeah, that I mean, when that hit, that was huge. The covers, just the covers alone, made that book just massive. And then it actually had a decent story.
Yep. And I have I have 2 copies of each of the first print variants.
Yeah.
I'm just holding on to those. I don't think there's ever going to be anything, but I just like them.
I think they started that whole homage craze.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the zombie craze in comics really came out of, well, I guess technically you could say Walking Dead, but I mean, but after Marvel Zombies, they're like, hey, all of us, we should do, because then it was like Army of Darkness.
Those Army of Darkness covers, the Marvel Zombies Army of Darkness covers are really good too.
Yeah, they are. And it's too bad Arthur Sudam is such a dick.
Me and Paul saw him. He wasn't that bad.
No, he's totally nice in person, but he's supposed to be terrible to other artists and people that are not buying stuff from him.
Or people that are buying sketches that have to wait for 2 years.
Hey, I'm sending a link or a pictures to the Hangout, the regular Hangout, on a CGC thing that's odd.
I saw the picture, but I didn't read the story.
Oh yeah, I read that earlier today. The New Zealand thing. Are they riding on the back of that Star Wars thing?
But is it a silver label? Like actual silver?
I wouldn't be surprised. That's what they're doing with that Star Wars thing, right?
Yeah, it's just the seal. So it's got to be. Let me take a look at this.
They're really trying to grasp at straws here. I don't understand why they're doing
The
stuff
foil
like this.
is made from 35 grams of
No,
fine
so
silver.
that's around the book, dude.
What?
Talking
Oh,
about
it's their label, right?
No,
They're
it's a
talking about the
cover.
label.
No, I don't. It's a cover. It's part of the cover.
We're
That's
talking about CGC posted
No, with a certification label.
Action
The
Comics.
certification was pure silver.
Oh, okay.
So wait, the New Zealand Mint's putting out an Action Comics one reprint, but grading them all in these silver foil.
Oh no, you're right. The foil is made from 35 grams of fine silver. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Correct.
That's an interesting fucking take.
That's just
sorry
what
for
we
everybody
needed
listening
too.
on
Was
the-
another Action Comics reprint.
Sorry.
For the 3 listeners, I will put it on the the page.
No. So the new mat. It's the new mat. So I guess pneumatics. So I mean, this isn't the first time Superman's been on like a gold coin or anything like that. So it's not like that out of that,
No, but it's a
Wow.
silver CGC label. I'm posting it to the community, just the 3 listeners that are like, "What the fuck, you idiots talking about?"
That hung in it this long.
Yeah,
That's your bonus.
it looks like it's Dr. Joe and Tom Massacoli, and probably Tony
Did you guys-
turning on Listen Books.
Maybe you already talked about this, but did you guys see the Venom leak?
The
I saw the
preview.
initial one. I've not seen the full trailer.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's a full trailer. It's just the one clip.
There's a
John
full
Brown
trailer.
said he posted a full trailer when we were in mid-show, but I haven't had a chance to watch it.
Me either. I
Oh.
haven't watched it.
Have you seen it, Matt?
Is that a Sony?
It looks.
Just the clip.
The link looks very.
Fan made.
No. It's the link. It's Russia. I mean, for fuck's sake.
I don't know, Matt, or is anybody watch John Brown's one? The
I'm
supposedly
doing it
good
right
one?
now. Kind of.
I watched it. It wasn't bad. Quality sucked, but
I saw one that was.
It looks like a screener, dude.
It looked fan made. Is the one I saw. It's a preview.
Huh.
No, this one's legit. Looks like.
I'll have to watch it. I mean, the exciting thing is the fun thing about a big movie like Avengers coming out this weekend, is that we're gonna get a new batch of like cool trailers. So I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of those.
I want to know is the interesting thing is Black Panther hasn't even really rode its wave, and he's going to probably get in it again. Like none of the other Avengers had that hit it and hit you again in 3 months.
Right. Yeah. Hey, you want to see more? Here you go. Here's more.
It's not going down. It cooled a bit, but it's still Black Panther is still fucking flying.
Yeah.
No, Black Panther is now an established staple for Marvel. He's not going anywhere, and if he goes anywhere, then his sister's going to take the place.
Well,
There's
everybody's like,
not going to be a Marvel Cinematic Universe without a Black Panther anymore. Same way there's not going to be some form of Iron Man, some form of Captain America.
makes me think the Illuminati storyline is real fucking viable.
It could be. I mean, that was what I was really disappointed that they didn't. Well, I guess they did fire Hulk off into space, or did he send himself?
He went himself, but I mean, just saying, like, you got those characters. That's who you're shaping, especially if the FF comes back in.
Well,
No, he didn't.
one of my
He didn't go himself. Didn't the Illuminati fire him off, and that's why he got so pissed? They drugged him.
Yeah, but in the movie, he went by himself.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
which was I was really hoping they were going to start working towards Planet Hulk, because honestly, Hulk is a pretty good villain in
Well, what are the odds that Silver Surfer shows up in either this next one or the second part of
I don't think they've sorted the rights out enough, man.
Oh man, that would be a total mic drop if he showed up, and that instantly tells you where the next phase is going, and it sets up the whole. I mean that would be the perfect thing to do. I don't see how they can not think of that.
Wasn't the original plan to make this a two-parter?
Yeah.
It is. It's still a two-parter, but it's not a two-parter.
Well,
one of my what's that?
I was going to say, I thought from what I heard, the first one's all about him getting the stones, and just the second one's, and him putting a beating on all the Avengers. And then the second one is the Avengers going to stop it. Does that
What's
sound right?
left of them?
Yeah, what's left of them.
Listen, the original Infinity Gauntlet was a great, memorable story, but when you read it again, it doesn't stand up that well.
Most books from probably 1990 back, other than Alan Moore or Frank Miller books, don't.
Probably
So one of the
true.
books I grab every time I see it is Young Avengers, especially the Wizard World variant. But I think that a lot of those characters are going to start coming into play in the next, couple of years, because they've all said, Robert Downey said he's kind of done. Captain America's Helmsworth said he's still in. I guess
waffled.
How's
really,
still in because that's the only thing he can do right now.
But I think a lot of those, I don't know if, because you can kind of see the romance between Scarlet Witch and Vision, so maybe those characters will come out of that.
If Vision doesn't die.
If Vision doesn't die. Well, that could be the thing and be like, oh, Vision's dead. Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant with mutant robot babies. I don't know how that works.
Mutant robot babies.
She just created them, right? So, like in the original series, Scarlet Witch kind of just witched these kids out of nowhere, right? And then they die at some point.
Yeah, they die.
And then they come back as in. I don't know how they came back in New Avengers. Wiccan and
I don't think they do. I think the new kids are the ones that the twins that she has in Vision and Scarlet Witch number 12 are like Tommy and it's another boy. I forget his name, but those two die, I think, right? And then the new set, is that the one that she just wishes into existence?
I thought those were the original kids.
Okay.
I do appreciate how Marvel has not really given that much away in the trailers.
Oh, it'd be stupid too.
But I mean, sometimes they give you so much, and you're like, I don't want to know. And really, they just give you some fight scenes, which is great. It's good eye appeal, but
I mean, they
don't have much of the story.
They kind of have announced 80 of the 100 people that are going to be in the movie, superhero wise, and they left 20% of them off. But it's supposed to be 144 people or 100 and some odd number.
So between people dying or maybe walking away, there's going to be a lot of new people coming in the next several films, So the question is who and when, and
one of my buddies, he was talking about he's like, did you hear, he's a comic book guy, but he just watches the movie. He doesn't read any of the books. He's like, did you hear what they said on set? They hit, was around set at Avengers? Hugh Jackman, because he really wants Wolverine to be in his movie. He's super stoked that Hugh Jackman.
I thought that was an April Fool's story.
I don't know, but he's like, Wolverine's gotta be in it, dude. He's all pumped up about Wolverine. So
I did hear that was one of it was either the Russo brothers or Kevin Feige, one of those two, that said that was one of their biggest plans and hopes was to get Hugh Jackman into one of the movies.
Yeah. And they were saying that Avengers might be it because he's obviously done. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's
he's in his 50s, right? 55.
Yeah, I mean, he can't be Wolverine forever. I mean,
the dude still can get pretty swole.
Well, I know that, but still.
Well, I think we forget.
If they said, we want you to do one movie, do a quick fucking scene, he'd get swole.
And we forget those guys are allowed to use steroids. So
look at Sylvester Stallone, man. I mean,
yeah, or even Josh Brolin.
Look at Brolin. Look at Zach Levi. I mean, he was a little fucking pea hood sized kid, and now
David
he's a giant.
Harbour, Hellboy.
Oh, fucking look at Star-Lord. He looked like me in the comedy shows he did, and now he looks like fucking a superhero.
Hey, it was off vegan stuff, man. All vegan stuff.
I really think that they'll start bringing in Patriot eventually.
that's
replace
my
Cap.
thing is I feel like I got my ass kicked on Phase 4 because I'm like, do we really care about some of these characters? The Eternals, Nova. I'm like, fuck this, I'm selling. And now I'm like, God damn it, we maybe care.
We maybe care.
I didn't think it'd make it to Phase 4, honestly.
Nova would be awesome to see on screen.
I just didn't think the tank would last that long. I thought we were hitting the end of the road.
Nah.
No, it's just opening up.
Black Panther was fuck you guys that are doubting, kick you in the balls.
Yeah.
Because they've already mentioned that Cassie is going to make an appearance to Ant-Man's daughter.
Ooh, that's a book to go out and find right away. That A Next book.
Yeah. No, I'm telling you, like these Young Avenger books, I think they're awesome places to be buying right now.
They were great stories in general. I mean, those were good books just to read.
I mean, it was the first appearance of, like how many characters? Jeez.
6
like
or 7.
Iron Lad, Kid Loki, Patriot. There's a ton.
Yeah, and who's the Hulk one?
Hulkling. I mean, he could put. He's a part Kree and Skrull. You know, those have kind of been touched upon already.
I just have a hard time buying it.
And well, movie.
I don't think they'll all make it. But if you want like a big bang for your buck, it's like that.
You're right. There's a chance at least one of them makes it.
Right. When they're doing it, when all these like old timers are leaving the Marvel U, and they're bringing in new people to replace them, there's going to be one, and I would put my money on Cassie first, then Patriot second.
I'm surprised that the Runaways books didn't jump more because that show was really good, and those are some great written or fleshed out
Hulu
characters.
did do it week by week.
Yeah,
but it was.
Well,
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier. It was just because it's all, well, I guess it does come out week by week.
But I think it's on a niche market streaming service.
Yeah.
Like I don't have Hulu.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be different.
That's a pretty good
And
series.
it was actually competing with Gifted too, and I was watching both of them initially and kind of almost got. I know the difference and got a little confused.
My big
they were
problem
both
with
those.
what's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
My big problem with Runaways is that it took them a whole season to run away. It's like, come on.
Well, usually the first seasons for a lot of those shows, the way they just have to set them up are kind of, a little underwhelming, like Preacher and
Right.
Runaways and
But like Walking Dead has Dead in it. Like episode 1 is like your Runaways. Episode 1, you need to be on the run.
Yeah.
I had to run away a couple podcasts ago, so I got to give a double dose of Paul's problems this week.
Oh yeah,
do it up, Paul.
So this first one is just me going down my list in no particular order. But when I was in Boy Scouts back when, we were at a camp, and
Show us where he touched you.
Did you become an Eagle Scout? Was that your Paul's problem?
No, I bailed. Anyway, so we were out in the woods doing our thing, and just some downtime, and there's this log or some shit that had a bunch of duct tape on it. So I thought to myself, man, I'm going to be a real good citizen. I'm going to clean this piece of dying wood up from this duct tape that's strangling it to death and throw it away. So I just got a brand new Swiss Army knife that was sharper than all hell. So I'm cutting this duct tape off, and of course I turned the knife the wrong way, and it closes right on my finger. And I just kind of stand there, and I don't know what to do. If I pull my finger out, it'll cut deeper, it's literally just hanging on my hand. It just clamped on my finger, and my knuckle is still a little bit fucked up today. But so I finally took it off. It just bled. It just bled like a motherfucker. I think I almost went home, or at least maybe to the hospital for stitches. I don't know, but it was bad. Just trying to save dead wood. It was just ridiculous. But the better of the two, in my opinion, is And Dino's kind of telling me not to tell this story, but it's actually it's a Paul's mom's problem.
Wow.
Your mom's a nice lady.
She's a very nice lady. And so if you guys remember a couple podcasts ago, I was talking about the fire pit gas explosion with my buddy from high school. So it's over at my mom's house, and she doesn't have bonfires that often. She just piles shit on her fire pit, but she also has this big wooden crate that she fills a bunch of stuff up with as well. And so she told me, I told her, she wanted me to come over for a bonfire soon. I was like, well, before you light that thing, you better really clear it down because you have basically a big, huge pile of dead everything. And so she called me and she's like, hey, we had a fire the other night, and the neighbor was over, and this is her story, so who knows, but she's a nice lady, so I gotta believe her. So she said the neighbor was going to throw like this pile of dead grass on the fire that was already burning, and she told him not to, but I guess he did it anyway. And then the fire spread from the gigantic pile to the wooden crate and engulfed that in flames, went up the side of the tree. And she said, yeah, as soon as I saw it hit the tree, I that's when I called 911.
This is your mom?
This is my mom. And
And she's like, let's see how this plays out.
yeah, maybe I could wait a little bit longer if we get the hose. But anyway, so the fire department had to come and all sorts of crazy shit, and I was like, God, why did I miss this? But everything turned out fine. Luckily, it wasn't September where all the leaves were dead on the tree. God knows what would have happened then. But
Paul, never throw sawdust in a fire there, buddy.
yeah, I've heard that too. So if I can get some pictures, I think she started cleaning it up. But if I can get some pictures, I'll post it to the page sometime. But I texted my dad, my brother. I'm like, it finally happened, guys.
That's funny. So you're saying Paul's problems are genetics now?
I was just about to say that apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah, it sounds.
No.
Makes sense now.
Yes. Yeah. Once I run out of Paul's problems, which I never will, I'll go on to my childhood stories.
I was gonna say you're making them constantly, Paul.
I am. I need to carry this notebook with me because sometimes I forget to write them down.
Tell one, add two.
What do we got next on the old outline there?
I think God of War. That's about it.
Yes, God of War. And I'm gonna be lame because I didn't pick it up. But does
Monster
anybody?
Hunter's dead.
Yeah, Monster Hunter's pretty dead. That's how it is in the video game world. It's hot for like a month, 2 months tops, and then a new game comes out and everybody forgets about whatever they were playing. Has anybody picked up God of War yet for PS4?
No, but I found some badass God of War comics in my collection.
Did you?
Nice.
I think there's some Delados.
So basically God of War 4 came out, which is like God of War has been kind of dormant for a while. They haven't done much, obviously. It got such great reviews that even Xbox told them congratulations, which is a huge step because it's a PlayStation 4 only title or a PlayStation only title. So when you have your competitors saying that you did an awesome job, it's pretty much money in the bank. So
yeah, it was. It looked so good from that preview that Wood threw up there. That I don't even own a PlayStation, and I'm contemplating going and buying one just for that game.
A lot of people told me that this morning. They're like, "Dude, I thought about this one kid that doesn't have PlayStation either." He's like, "I pretty much thought about just buying a PlayStation for that." I was like, you got a winner when
it's always been a great game.
Oh yeah, I mean the only problem was with it was like a button smasher kind of in the beginning days, and it was like the thing that was annoying was like opening doors was like you gotta hit the X or circle button like 20 million times. But I mean the combos were cool and stuff like that. But this one's supposed to be fully fleshed out. So,
So how's this one? Is it just like
it's think of like I guess it's like I would say
style?
a mix of Horizon maybe, or Zero Dawn or Zero Horizon or whatever. Where it's got you play with like a little guy, like a son kind of.
Yeah,
Is there
it's
a
a son.
multiplayer?
No, it's a single player.
It's almost like you switch back and forth between. They run around together type deal.
Excited for the Spider-Man game. Looks awesome too.
Yeah, it does.
It is. It looks dope, man.
So, if I'm looking at buying a PS4, what should I? Is that the type of thing that I probably shouldn't take a chance trying to get it used or secondhand type deal?
Well, what kind of TV do you got? 4K TV?
No, I don't right now, but I
Okay.
plan on getting one.
If you plan on getting one in the next 6 months, I would get a PS4 Pro because that's the only thing that can handle 4K right now.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm just saying, if you're not gonna get it, then I wouldn't get a PS4 Pro because you're not gonna. It won't be 4K compatible, but a Pro is 4K compatible.
So, what type of what are some of the other? I know that certain games only on certain consoles.
Yep.
You know those. I really like. This can sound crazy, but I really like those Lego superhero games. Are those on PS4?
I believe so.
I think they're on every.
They're usually across every platform.
Okay, good.
Lego plays with everyone.
Well, and then Grand Theft Auto used to be PS4, but they branched to Xbox too. But I mean, Grand Theft Auto is a good game for PS4. I don't know if
they would get Grand Theft Auto like 2 years later.
And then Gran Turismo, like if you play if you like racing games, like Gran Turismo is a PS4 only game, I think. Metal Gear Solid.
I can't wait for Last of Us 2.
Last of Us 2.
That's what I'm gonna buy a PlayStation 4 for.
What's that other zombie game that's coming out? Days Gone. That's a PlayStation 4 only game, I think. Which is it's like Last of Us mixed with Red Dead mixed with GTA kind of.
What about Red Dead? Is that PS4?
Yep.
The new one?
Yep.
Nice. Okay, so it sounds like it's not that bad of a pickup if I
I tell you, when 360 came out and PS4 came out, they got swamped. Our Xbox One came out, PS4 had them miles away just on single game content, let alone that nobody cares about Xbox One anymore.
So what is the going rate for PS4?
I think it's 250, 300.
Yeah, 250, 300 probably. I'm sure you can find them on Craigslist pretty easily.
Yeah.
Craigslist.
That's the plan, is to try and find one used.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go out and buy brand new unless you're going to get a good deal on it. Or, I mean, we all know GameStop's going to screw you on the trade-in anyways. So, if you got to try to trade in, so.
Yeah.
They might have some
something.
bundles for Christmas.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, when's E3? It's usually in a month? Oh, no, it's at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. E3 2018 it's June. It's June.
So they usually announce stuff, and then once they announce stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if they announce the next PlayStation, maybe in development.
5.
Yeah. And so when that gets announced, then there's usually a big price jump. Well, saying that I know that they're working on a new VR set. A VR Pro with a new VR headset. So maybe that will probably be announced for E3.
They're saying,
but who knows?
So 16 hours ago, somebody posted what heavy games are rumored to be we want to see at E3 2018. Bully 2. Of course, you have to sign in to see it all. It's one of those sideshow ones. Animal Crossing for Switch. Nobody cares about that. Splinter Cell.
Yeah, it's like a Splinter Cell crossover with Ghost Recon.
Yep. Assassin's Creed Dynasty, the next Fable and Fable series, if you're a Fable fan. BioShock 4, Bully 2,
Fortnite 2.
Yeah, I don't know. Halo 6, Watch Dogs 3, Starfield, which is like we settled for a rumored sequel to Doom instead. Devil May Cry 5. So, good games coming out. I mean,
dang, these PlayStation 4 1 terabyte God of War special sets are nuts. They sell for like $800, $600.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah,
Oh.
there's nothing else on it.
Well, you know what else sells for crazy dollars that me and you were talking about, and we're gonna go back to hockey on this, is those towels. Those towels went insane,
yeah.
dude.
Those Nintendo Shark
Towels.
San Jose Shark towels. Yeah,
Brian,
those
did you see those?
awesome.
Yeah.
Those things
one?
were awesome.
$80, dude.
80?
$90 for a towel.
Fuck, man. Those things are cool, though.
They're cool, and like they did a game 6 one or a game 4 one, which is like the duck hunt cover, and they did a game 6 one of like the dog is a shark, and it's like laughing and like have like
Right.
birds around it, and that's going for
Yeah,
like
it's-
20 or 30, but still.
No, 60. I'm
Is it
looking at it
60
right
now?
now.
Jesus.
$60.
Yeah, the duck hunt cover one though is like insane. It's like a hundo. I was like, because I told the boys, because I showed it to the boys, and I was like, oh, I'll do it for like $20. I look on eBay, it's like a hundo. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
It's awesome. That's a good giveaway.
Yeah.
Whoever did that was just nailed it.
Some
I
of
like
those NHL marketing departments are absolute genius. I love how they throw shade at each other's teams over social media, and they're really, really smart the way they do things.
Yeah. Sorry, that was my one eBay thing I was looking for, and I was disappointed. I don't want to spend $100 on it.
I mean, thank God it's not a bobblehead. I'm like, I can't take any more sports bobbleheads.
All right,
Like you see 'em at-
I got to bail, but good show.
You got to
Oh,
bail.
Yeah, I got to get up early. I have a stupid meeting I got to go to.
Just stay up late for Paul's problem.
Paul's problem. Paul falls asleep in a conference room.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Well, real quick, before I don't want to keep too many people up much later, but if we got some time real quick, I'd like to do a little tribute to Art Bell. You guys ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it, dude.
All right,
Sure.
it's about 5 minutes. Hopefully it doesn't it works out, and I've got a little story the way this intertwines with the comic community. So back in the mid 90s, for those of you that don't know about Art Bell was a very famous radio host, late night radio host. He hosted a program called Coast to Coast AM, the most listened to radio show in the history of radio. They had I want to say like the most listeners for like the last 20 years running. They do a lot of real fringe topics and stuff. One of the most famous things that happened on the show was a guy called in. Art used to have these special lines that he would give out the number to every night, and they would be for certain subjects. And this one night he put out a line called the Area 51 line, and they just wanted anybody calling in to this line that have a story about Area 51. And this is what came in.
Line, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello, Art.
Yes.
Hi. I don't have a whole lot of time.
Well, look, let's begin by finding out whether you're using this line properly or not.
Area 51.
Yeah, that's right. Were you an employee or are you now?
A former employee.
Former employee.
I was let go on a medical discharge about a week ago, and I've kind of been running across the country. Oh man, I don't know where to start. They're gonna they'll triangulate on this position really soon.
So you can't spend a lot of time on the phone. So give us something quick.
Okay, what we're thinking of as aliens are they're extra dimensional beings that an earlier precursor of the space program made contact with. They are not what they claim to be. They have infiltrated a lot of aspects of the military establishment, particularly the Area 51. The disasters that are coming, the military, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving the population population to now, Art.
But they're not doing anything.
They are not. They want the major population centers wiped out so that the few that are left will be more easily controllable.
Discharge.
I started getting.
At that point, the transmission was lost. And this is all live on air. And he spent the next 2 hours getting calls from people freaking out. Hopefully you guys were able to hear that pretty clear.
Yeah,
one of the cool.
It came through good. That's great. I thought you were doing.
Now, one of the really cool things about this is just recently, about a year ago, a guy came out on another radio station and told everybody the real story. And unfortunately, most of us Coast to Coast fans really wanted to believe that story. We all kind of wanted to hope that it was real. What it turns out to be is that caller was everybody's favorite Powers comic book artist, Michael Avon Emming. He actually came out on another radio show and redid the voice and broke all of our hearts. But the cool thing about it is his tie into comics. So if you ever get a chance, it's a really cool story. It's unfortunate. Art Bell was young for somebody, dying. He was, I want to say he was 69, 70 something. And he died too young for what everybody was really enjoyed him and what he brought to the radio. So that's just my little tribute to Art Bell, and hope you guys enjoyed it.
Who do you think is going to replace him? Because I mean, obviously the show's not going anywhere.
Well, Art Bell was having major back issues back in the early 2000s, and he kind of had to go on a weekend only basis. And there's a guy named George Norrie, another radio host. Yeah, George ended up taking over the show. Whether you like George or not, it doesn't really matter. The show is still a very good show, still has the same type of topics, still has the same huge fan base. But that, in my opinion, Art Bell made that show. And it's a really, really big bummer that he passed away, but it's kind of cool that we're able to give it a little tribute on a comic book podcast about Art Bell. So.
Yeah, so if you're ever find yourself on a night shift or up late or whatnot, Coast to Coast AM, whatever you think of the topic, is definitely at the very basis it is entertaining.
Yes,
so I've tuned in myself every now and then driving late for work, just to see what they're talking about, and it can be definitely entertaining.
Very cool. I appreciate that, guys.
Because you're a big fan too. I mean, obviously you did the tribute, but have you been listening for years yourself?
I have. It started off as a kid, just having that AM radio next to your bed at night, and me and my brother used to, when we were really young, we had the same shared a bedroom, and we would get just scared to death listening to these shows about.
What time is it on though? It's late.
It starts at midnight and it runs all night till about 6 a.m. They actually will replay the show for the final 2 hours. And they talk about anything from aliens and top secret programs, ghosts, Bigfoot. They talk a lot about conspiracy theories. It's a fringe topic show. But for years, it's been captivating truckers and late night drivers and people working the night shift. And when I got to an age, where I was working 12-hour shifts, I worked night shifts at an Intel-like plant, making wafers. And we would do 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. 4 nights a week, and then 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. 3 nights a week. We'd rotate. So I would fill my iPod back then, when the iPods first came out, with 5 or 6 coast to coast shows, and I listened to every show that Art ever did. And you can actually go back on YouTube, and there's a lot of other areas you can find those shows. You can download them and torrent them or whatnot. But YouTube, just search Art Bell Coast to Coast, and it'll blow you away, some of the crazy stuff that is on there.
That's sweet. I forgot you're doing that. That's fine.
And a lot of, I guess, Rogan talks about Art Bell too, and how he kind of got him into podcasting too.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't understand. Like, he was kind of the first podcaster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Art Bell actually broke a record, I want to say, for the longest amount of time broadcasting in a row, like something like 48 straight hours broadcasting. And he just had that perfect radio voice. He didn't take shit from anybody. And he was, he had an open mind. And there was a lot of crazy. He's actually the guy that broke the Area 51 story. Nobody knew about Area 51 until Art Bell and a Las Vegas reporter named George Knapp got in touch with a guy named Bob Lazar, who was a whistleblower that came out and said he worked at Area 51. And that kind of was groundbreaking because, here's a show where everybody's saying it's all fake and there's no such things as UFOs and aliens and Bigfoot. And 10 years after they broke the Area 51 story, the government had to admit to Area 51. So, yeah, you got to separate the wheat from the chaff, and you got to be able to call bullshit on bullshit. But sometimes it's, just fun to be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
Good guy, and it's sad that he passed. But if anybody out there gets a chance to check him out, never heard of him, then I've done my job.
No, that's good stuff, dude.
Oh yeah,
cool. Yeah, I actually just listened to that piece like 2 days ago. It was like on one of those like YouTube like top 10 creepiest recordings or something like that.
Yeah, who would have thought that a young Michael Avon Emming, who was probably sitting at his art, churning out Powers pages. He went on to do not Mouse Guard. What was the other one? Mice Templar. He created Mice Templar, did Mice Templar. He also did a couple of other books. He did some Judge Dredd stuff. He did Atomic Robo. He was the artist for Blunt Man and Chronic. Of course, Powers, some Avengers, Daredevil. He's still doing stuff. I think he's doing, he's doing Cave Carson, that Gerard Way, I think, book for Young Animal DC Comics. Just what a cool coincidence. And it was kind of a bummer that it turned out not to be real. We were all kind of holding on to that one just because it was so crazy. And as a matter of fact, what happened is that the transmission got lost. And what happened is the station actually had their transmission shut down from an outside source. And Michael Avon Emming came out when he said, yeah, it was me. He did admit that, no, it wasn't him that hung up. It got hung up on him. And when they went and did some investigating on the signal actually did get shut down from an outside source. So whatever the guy was saying, some organization out there, some 3-letter organization out there was probably listening and going, this guy might not be real, but we're not going to take a chance.
That's crazy. So, I didn't know that part. That's funny.
Yeah, cool stuff. So
maybe they got him and replaced him.
That could be it. They made a clone instead of a clone Thor, it's clone Avon Emming.
Yeah, you're gonna be a writer.
That's funny.
Strange. Sometimes truth is stranger than fiction.
No kidding. I don't want to investigate that one though. I'll leave that one to everyone else.
Yeah, have fun checking that one out and going down those rabbit holes, guys.
Right.
So
I don't want to fire this guy.
Yeah. No, a good show, guys. That was fun.
Yeah. Does anybody have anything else to add? I know. Paul's gone, so
no, I'm here.
And Regan's bailing, and everybody's bailing. So
No, I'm still here. I stuck around for that. I forgot that Brian was gonna.
Regan had to go jerk off to the Venom trailer.
Yeah, the official Venom trailer's out in good quality. So
Yeah, East to West and Amazing Spider-Man 300. He's
still
done. Buy a
We
lot
won't
of
see him
tickets,
for
yeah.
weeks.
yeah, he's gonna call off work tomorrow for sure.
Jerkins is fucking making money off of Regan.
He's painting his he's painting his garage right now. So, all right, boys. I guess we can call it. I guess. Thanks to Vo for coming in late.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's good stuff though. You know, when you come in late, it brings an added.
You guys got to move out to the West Coast,
dude. I'd move out to the West Coast, dude. We kind of were talking about it.
It'd take me an extra truck now with all the comic boxes, though.
I mean, that's not a bad thing, right?
We'll start a GoFundMe for you.
GoFundMe, he says. It's funny. All right, boys.
We'll see you later.
Yep. We're 2 weeks, I guess, maybe. So that's what, the 8th or 7th. So we'll see how that goes. So all right, boys. We'll see you the 7th.
Sounds good.
Later.
Later.